Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports, the #1 Philadelphia Eagles daily show. We'll be going live all through the offseason. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, John McMullen, the #1 Eagles beat reporter in town. Johnny Mac, how you doing on this Football Friday, brother?
I'm doing well. Another Friday, getting closer and closer to the NFL draft, which, wow, this is the least I've talked about the NFL draft.
Yeah, we're about to get into it today.
Because of the Super Bowl and everything else. And it just, the offseason is so short for the Eagles. It's just, obviously they've been here before 3 times in 8 years, but this one seemed quicker. I don't know. It's just,
it does. It's late March already, John. I mean, yeah. It's crazy how quick it's moving.
Yeah, it's amazing. And a lot of players, they're signing a lot of players because they're going the clearance aisle route. It's last year it was more splash players.
Right.
Turned out to be splash players with Zach Bowen too, but expected splash players with Saquon. Just a different vibe to this offseason.
There's no doubt about it. There is a much different vibe. It's a different team. They do have a tough outlook in the future, I think, but I think Howie's done the right thing so far this offseason. I know we've called it the clearance rack, but yeah, I don't know what else they would have done. And I think with everything they have coming up, it makes a lot of sense. But I understand people in the moment get upset about some of the people that are gone and the differences of the team. But every team's going to have turnover. Our turnover was just harder, John, because our team was so damn good.
Yeah, it happens. It's happened to a lot of Super Bowl teams in the past where guys get good players get paid great money because everybody wants to break off a piece of that success. And I think that's what happened to the Eagles. And they made some difficult decisions and said, Milton Williams being top of the list, it's like, I don't think there's anybody in that building that dislikes Milton Williams as a player.
Right.
But you got to make some difficult decisions, understanding. And you mentioned in the moment, people get upset in the moment because they're worried about, well, what does this do to the team now? It's not what it does to the team now, what it potentially does to the team down the road. And that's hard for people to, you don't want to be in a position where you can't keep Jalen Carter, which they're not going to be in, but even the second tier where you're going to lose Cam Jurgens or Reed Blankenship or down the road Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean, et cetera, or Zach Bowen, who you didn't lose. They made that decision. Want to keep Zach Bowen? Can't keep Milton Williams, can't keep Josh Sweat, can't keep Mekhi Becton. It's tough.
It is, no doubt about it, John. It is tough. You just mentioned the NFL draft. We haven't talked about it much, but we're about to start talking about it a lot here on Birds 365. I want to set the stage for everybody today. We got a great show planned on a Football Friday. For those just checking in, make sure you guys up your memberships. All right, I will be doing a giveaway after the show today on Zander Time here at the end of Birds 365. So I got Super Bowl hats and shirts, and I'll do a giveaway. I do have to run, so I don't have all the time in the world, but we will do a giveaway. So for those listening in who maybe canceled their memberships after the season, get them back up. All right, because we'll be doing that after the show. We have Les Bowen in hour number 2, so we'll talk to the great Les Bowen. It's been a bit since we've talked to Les. I love talking to Les. We'll get his perspective on what the offseason has looked like so far. We'll do that in hour number 2, and then we'll dive into the NFL draft here in hour number 1 and kind of what it looks like now, where the Eagles are, phase 2 of free agency. Most of our key losses have already occurred. Most of our key free agent signings have already occurred. And we'll look at where the team is at, what the draft holds in the future. They got a lot of picks coming up, a lot of picks. So we'll talk about that. Now, John, let me ask you, now with phase 2, as you call it, of free agency coming to a close here, and, Mekhi Becton went this week, a couple other moves were made this week. Obviously, Brandon Graham's retirement was the headliner on the week, even though nobody wanted to listen to any content about it. What do you think?
That still pisses me off.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. What do you think about the Eagles, though, draft-wise, now that we are post phase 2 of free agency. You always talk that you hate mock drafts before free agency because, how do you know what a team is going to do before they make moves in free agency, which I agree with. But as it stands now, post phase 2 of free agency, what do you think's on the horizon for the Birds in this NFL draft, or potentially has nothing changed?
No, plenty. I think, nothing's changed from the standpoint that Howie had a plan pre-free agency, then you go execute it. So I think he kind of hinted in Indianapolis, this is, going to be a different offseason. I don't think he said it, maintenance offseason. And then I think the draft, they're going to get back to their, and he used the term different. Then in the draft, you're going to get back to their foundational thought process, which is offensive, defensive line. I think that's the plan before. I think that's the plan now. At least at the top, obviously, that's what we're talking about. So I think, there's a very good chance that through day 2 of the draft, so you're talking about picks where 32, 64, 96, you're probably going to get an offensive lineman and a defensive front player in those 3 picks. And they might, as we know with Howie, he's unlikely to take those picks. He's going to move around the board. But I would say they're going to get an offensive lineman and a defensive front player in the first 2 days of the draft. And a couple things. A, it's foundational. B, it's a deep draft on both. More defensive fronts. Not as deep on the offensive line. Last year was much deeper, but there's still plenty of draftable. As you see, the Eagles started their top 30 visits. There's only 4 that I know of. There could be more, but the 4 I know of, they're all offensive linemen.
Yeah, I saw that.
And again, that doesn't, but the Eagles have a history of drafting some of the players they bring in. Can't draft them all, obviously.
Well, the reason I like the names, John, is because even if they don't draft them, sometimes you see them come back into the organization later.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just about to talk about you. Kenyon Green was here on the top 30 visit.
Right.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson was here on the top 30 visit, and all of a sudden they're here.
Right.
And over the past 2 years, Jalen was obviously top. They wanted to do their due diligence, Jalen Carter, but obviously everybody did. Nolan was in. Ringo was in. Steen was in. Those are the guys I know of. Last year, Quinyon was in. Cooper was in. Jalix was in. So 1, 2, 3. And then Pumpers, Crush, Johnny Wilson was in. Anaya Smith was in. So they often draft guys that they do that due diligence on, obviously, but there's 30 of them. So you're not going to draft all of them, but sometimes you don't get an opportunity. Like they like Kenyon Green, but they were taking Jordan Davis and they traded up and all of a sudden Kenyon Green goes 15. They like Dorian Thompson-Robinson more than they like Tanner McKee, but they couldn't get him. And I think Cleveland took him in the 5th round, and they want McKee in the 6th round. So I think people forget there's 31 other teams talking with these players as well. One of the guys who was in was Josh Connerly, who was going to be is in, whatever. And he's a potential pick at 32 if he lasts that long, but he might not. I know the Oregonian, so a reporter out there said he's coming in to visit with the Eagles, but he also mentioned he was going to visit Atlanta and Chicago and Cincinnati and Houston and New Orleans and Washington. So that's what you're sort of dealing with.
Yeah, he's on an NFL tour to meet with everybody. So, but look, I do think there is significance to the names they bring in, and obviously, all offensive linemen is what we've heard so far. You think there's a chance they go O-line? I mean, I think there's always a chance, but when you break it down, do you think the Eagles would go offensive line in round 1? I know we mentioned last year they obviously drafted Quinyon Mitchell, but if the offensive lineman they liked last year, I think it was Troy Fontenot. Is that right?
Fatano.
Patanu, that's right. I always pronounce his name wrong. But if he fell, the Eagles were interested. You think they'd be really interested in an offensive lineman round one, even with some of the changes that they've had on the defensive side?
they'd be. They brought all right. So the 4 guys they brought in, Marcus Mbow. If I butchered his name, I apologize. It's MBOW. Who's from Purdue? No, they're not taking him in the first round. Anthony Belton, we talked about. We already knew he was coming in because he said it at the combine. He's not a first round pick. They brought in Jalen Travis yesterday. He's a massive 6'8" guy. He's not a first round pick. Connerly, yeah, that maybe. So it all depends on, who's there, who falls,
Right,
versus who's on their board. Is Connerly, if he falls, is he higher up? Then they're going to bring in defensive front people at some point as well. So it all. But yeah, I mean, the position, if it falls the right way, yeah, they'll take an offensive lineman.
I could see it. We'll see what they end up doing there. Should be interesting to see, John. I think the shoe-in is obviously the defensive line, which is where they need reinforcements. You lost Brandon Graham, you lost Josh Sweat, and you lost Milton Williams, and you're relying on some young players and some 1-year deals to get production out of that spot. So it could be interesting to see what they obviously end up doing there and how they replenish the defensive line. But people love to talk about best player available. I think it's obviously best player available, but it's got to fit, right? I mean, you can't just always in a vacuum take the best player available in the NFL draft, depending on what team you are. At least that's how I see it. Maybe I'm way wrong. Maybe teams really do take the best player available regardless of position. But I feel like there has to be some malleability based on a team and where they are and their needs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, teams like to say that. And for the most part, I'd like to describe it as best player available at your need positions. Certain guys like the Eagles aren't, and it's not going to come into play. Positions, they're not taking a quarterback.
Yeah, right.
They're not taking a running back.
I don't know. You don't think they'll play that trick on us, do you? Last time they signed a quarterback to a big contract, they did do that.
Well, in second round's a lot. I'm talking about first round.
Yeah.
And even 32. They're not taking a quarterback at 32.
I'm going to go ahead and say they're not taking one at 64 either.
You're probably right. Well, it's a bad quarterback draft as well.
Yeah.
But anything's possible once you get out of the first round. And the Eagles might not even pick in the first round if they have their druthers. It becomes easier. But in the first round, generally, especially when you're more closer to the top, it's always, you never want to reach for players, but there's certain years where you're not looking for certain positions and you don't even really do the homework you necessarily would. I go back to Saquon getting that question early this season. He kind of chuckled at it. I kind of chuckled at it. And, he was asked, hey, for some reason, did the Eagles have interest in you when you were drafted? He was like, the Eagles won the Super. That's the last time they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
They had the 32nd pick in the draft. And he was the second pick in the draft, and he was in the conversation, obviously, to go number one. And he, like I said, he just kind of chuckled and said, but Saquon's very nice and, he tries to answer everybody thoughtfully. And he said, well, my draft, I'm not paraphrasing. He said my draft process was a little bit different. It was, he
a nice way to say the Eagles had no chance.
Yeah. And he said, I'd come across teams and they said, we're not going to be able to get you. That was the conversation. That's the Eagles. Yeah, we're not going to be able to. So they're not doing a whole lot of homework on Saquon Barkley when they have the 32nd pick. They're not doing a whole lot of homework on Abdul Carter this year at 32.
See, I don't know. I would still take like meeting. I mean, I'm sure they still do. They take meetings and stuff with these players because I would be interested to learn. I'd like to know who's
Well,
out
you're
there. You
limited
know?
these things. So you
Yeah.
wanna you only have the guys you bring in, you only have top 30. It's a waste of time. Now,
Right.
there's a lot more at the combine and stuff like that. And if you have a 10-minute meeting, but even that, you have a limit. And if you're picking 32nd, it's a waste of time. If you don't want to quarter, like, are you talking to Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Why?
The waste of the precious time that you have, I guess. Yeah.
So, I mean, you still have your personnel people looking at all these players. You never know what happens down the road. But when it comes to the preparation for this draft, Hunter, Ward, Hunter, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carr, it's a complete waste of time. You're not in a position to get these players, which is what Saquon was saying back in 2018.
John, what do you think the ceiling is on where the Eagles could potentially trade up to? I think it's a better chance they trade down, but they do have a lot of picks in the chamber, John. They got a lot of picks this year. They got a ton of picks next year. I think they have 4 5th-rounders this year. Next year, they have 3 3rd-rounders, 2 4ths, and 3 5ths, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere, I'm pretty sure I'm right on the money, but it's close. There's a lot of picks, around 20 picks for this team coming up. I think Howie Roseman's going to shake and bake, and because he needs draft players on rookie contracts to hit right now with the way the cap is structured, I think he's going to be willing to go and get a guy that he likes, even if it means going up. Now, I think there's a ceiling, though, right? I mean, how high can you go if you're trading 32 and other picks? I think there would be a limit on how high you could go. What do you think that ceiling is for where the Birds could potentially trade up to?
Yeah, I don't think they're. It's much, 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 much more likely that they're going down. As far as going up, you never rule it out because it's Howie. If there's a very specific targeted trade up, I would say 26, 27, maybe 5 spots. That's it. Because they're very good about, they're going to have a cluster of players they're interested in at getting at 32. And as they start to get plucked off the board, and they've done this in more high profile situations like Jordan Davis. And with Jordan, they were concerned Baltimore was going to take him at 14. So they had to jump over Baltimore to get him. With Devontae Smith, he was the last of a cluster of 5. So they had to jump up over the Giants to get him. You're talking about very limited targeted trade up. And I still think it's way more likely they trade down in this particular draft as well. The draft factors into it as well. There aren't a lot of top tier prospects, and everybody you talk to, and we'll talk to more draft people, but the ones we talked to all said the same thing. It's, however high you get, and there's some that think it's a really small group of true first rounders, 12, something like that. And then from 20 to 50, it's like, then you have the next drop off. So if you're at 32 and it's 20 to 15, 20 to 50, that is basically not that much of a difference. You better be in love with a certain player if you're going to move up, because it just makes more sense to move down. Now, and then the 5th-year option part of it. Somebody might want a quarterback, and you can maybe take advantage of it. That's what they did in 2018. Now, Baltimore was happy as well, but, they didn't need a quarterback at the time. So they weren't interested in a quarterback. And they traded down and got a very good tight end traded down, then traded back up and got a very good tight end. That would be the more logical way to go about it. But again, you certainly don't have a Lamar Jackson type player that somebody's going to come up for at 32. Now, there's other positions. I've talked to Howie about this, the 5th-year option. Yeah, I've talked to Howie about this. Fucking that still pisses me off.
Might as well say it 3 times.
He explained that there's certain positions you want the fifth year options, and there's certain positions you don't want the fifth year option. As you think about these things as a general manager. So there could be other positions, edge rusher, offensive tackle. Yeah, I think Kansas City stayed put last year and drafted the tackle. Didn't work out at all. And we'll see if he can reclaim his career. But there's certain positions you want it, certain positions you don't want it. Quarterback being the most notable. But I don't think anybody's coming up to get Jackson Dart at 32. But it only makes
I don't know, man. There is a little bit
Jalen Milroe. You know why? Because it only takes one team.
Yes, that's why.
And
And like, it's easy to say that about Lamar now, but like Lamar fell to 32. Like he, knowing what we know now, Lamar would have been the first overall pick in the draft, or second, or whoever went that year. I know it was a good quarterback draft, but I mean, it's easy to say that now. Maybe somebody is high. Maybe in 5 years, John, we're looking back at this class like, holy shit, can you believe Jackson Dart was there at 32? Maybe not. Most likely not. But I'm just saying it could.
Well, my thing about the draft is, you could say Jordan Mailata should be a top 10 pick, in hindsight.
Right. That's true.
But my thing about the draft, it's about more than what the player develops. Obviously, that's what a fan's going to focus on. But it's about value. Like, it wouldn't have been, even if you knew, even if you had some kind of, crystal ball and you said, hey, guys, I know Jordan Mailata is going to turn into one of the best left tackles in football. You would have been stupid for taking him top 10 because you didn't have to.
Right. That's part of playing the board. That's part of playing the board.
So value factors into it and is a big factor. Chip Kelly wanted, obviously Chip was obsessed to a hamstringing degree. It hurt him with the Oregon guys, and he had all the success there. And how many Oregon was Georgia back in the day, just for the Eagles, just not successful. Because Chip wanted to always bring in Oregon guys. If you go back to Lane Johnson's draft, they wanted to draft Deion Jordan from Oregon. And Miami luckily jumped ahead of them to steal Deion Jordan away from Chip Kelly. And the Eagles had to settle for Lane Johnson.
The best settling of all time right there.
Yeah. So, so he loved a player by the name of Taylor Hart, if people remember him. And Taylor Hart it's funny, he was a defensive lineman, and then they switched him to offensive line. He was here for quite a while. And he was here twice. He left and came back, and he turned into a offensive lineman. Couldn't play either that well. It's a better defensive lineman, and Chip wanted him in the third round. And at the time, Howie, before their fracture, he's like, we'll get him. And they ended up getting him in the fifth round, which doesn't, but he wanted him in the third round. Well, the value doesn't match up. So value's a part of it.
Yeah, it's like in the Kobe Dean draft, right? They could have taken him in round 2, but they didn't want the value there. And then he fell, and ultimately he was worth it at that point. Same with Cooper DeJean last year, right? I mean, they got him at 40. They thought that was the right spot. They could have taken him at 22, but the value.
They might have. If Quinion wasn't there, they might have. If Faltano and Quinion weren't there, they might have. But people worried about Cooper injuries, position difference, and then the goofy, he's a white guy, can he play corner? So about a lot of weird stuff with Cooper, but should have been a first round pick, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think now, after seeing his rookie year, definitely should have been a first round pick. John, you mentioned that trading down is a much bigger possibility in your estimation that the Eagles will do. I think you're right about that for sure, just when you look at the draft board. But the one thing I will ask is, what are we talking about in terms of a return when we say that? Like, people love to say, oh, trade down and end up with two second-round picks. What does this look like? Like, if you're going to trade 32, where do you go?
You're not getting 2 second-round picks.
That's what I mean. So it's like, what are you adding if you do trade down from 32? Let's say you go to 40, or let's say you go to 45. What are you adding? Another third, another fourth, another fifth? I mean, what does that look like? Because I think people are a little bit off. They're like, trade one back one. You end up with 2 2s and 2 3s. And I'm like, I don't think you're getting all that for the 32nd overall pick, but we'll see.
Well, there's the famous Jimmy Johnson trade chart. If you go back to 2018, there's a perfect example because the Eagles were 32nd. They moved out. They traded down to, I don't know, 52.
Ooh,
and
that was a
then
good trade down.
And then went back up to 49 to get Goedert. So there was a lot of wrangling. Now I should look up just what they traded for Goedert originally, but I'm looking up the trade charts to go from 32 to 52, which is not as much as you would think.
That's not, and I don't think it's much at all.
Yeah, not as much as you would think. So I'll do it with the trade charts. So 32 was worth 590 points on the trade chart, and they traded down to 52, which is worth 380. So the team coming up, Baltimore's got to come up with that 480, 580,
Right.
210. Now, quarterbacks also change that because quarterbacks are valued more. Obviously.
Right. So people will spend more in a sense to go and grab them.
Exactly. So, that tends to change. And the best example of that is Patrick Mahomes, because on paper, people thought the Chiefs were crazy at the time for making that move. And you see how that works. But yeah, not nearly as you're not getting 2 second-round picks. You might get, you're basically trading draft, and people understand it. You're trading draft positioning. So you're dropping 20 spots. That's what you're doing. That's how you have to think of it. That's how GMs think of it. You're dropping from 32 to 52. And then ultimately they went up to 49. But that's sort of, you're not getting massive hauls. You might get a 4th round pick, that type of thing. But remember, I think a lot of people forget the equation. You're not trading a 1st round pick. You're trading those 20 spots. You're getting something back and then something on top of it. So you don't say, oh, you gave up a 1st round pick, but you're getting a spot 20. You're getting a pick 20 spots later. That counts.
Right. But it's
and
worth
then
less.
Something on top of it. Yeah, it's worth 210 points left. But I think a lot of people, well, you give up a 1st round pick, you got to get 2 2s. No. You're getting a 2 by dropping 20 spots, and then maybe you get a 4th, something of that nature. If you're lucky, it might even be a 5th. So that's sort of how it works, and you see it all the time.
Look at that, and I'm just hearing that. It doesn't sound like a 4th round.
Well, yeah, because people can't wrap their heads around. You're giving up a 1st round pick, and you're only getting an extra 4th round pick. Well, you're giving up 20 spots. Is what you're getting. Like, in theory, you could trade from 32 to 33, and you're trading a 1st round pick for a 2nd round pick, and people look at that. Oh,
yeah, right.
What the hell's the difference? You're not going that far down. So you're just trying to maximize value. Is basically what you're doing.
You mentioned something earlier that Howie said, you talked to Howie about this, that there's some positions he doesn't want a 5th-year option on. Can you elaborate on that a little further?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's certain, it's obvious from how he doesn't want a running back with a 5th round option. He doesn't want an off-ball linebacker. You don't want that. You don't want to be in a position to pay, and they probably just decline the option. No, and if it turns into, in general, and everything's in general, all the positions they value versus the positions they don't value. Quarterback, obviously, it's very desirous. But the Eagles' philosophy, and I go back to my tangent yesterday, they don't want to use that 5-year option anyway if the player hits. There's one or two things the Eagles are going to do with a 5-year option. They're going to decline it, Jahan Dotson and Kenyon Green, or they're going to pick it up, as they've done many times in the past. And I've written stories on that. Yeah. But anyway.
Boy, that DMer's having a bad day.
Oh my God. It's just, I mean, open your ears is all I would say. But as they've done many times in the past, but they rarely want the player to play on that 5-year option because they want more salary cap malleability. So they generally extend them. It's that, many times they fold in that 5-year option into the extension to keep the number down for an extra year. If it's a big contract, yada, yada, yada. But generally the Eagles don't want to be the team that has their, that has their player that they like playing on a 5-year option. They don't want to be in that position.
All right. So it's all about the value. I mean, the Eagles clearly love certain positions. And they really stick to that all through and through.
So the trade for Goedert, and here's where Howie took advantage of Baltimore. They traded 32 and their 4th round pick. See, he'll do this as well. 132 to the Ravens, exchanged for 52, a better 4th round pick, 125. So he moved up 7 spots in the 4th round. Not that much. But, and here's where he's always, and I've talked about this with him before, believes there's a market inequity that the Eagles have taken advantage of. Generally, NFL teams believe future draft picks are not as valuable as current draft picks. Baltimore should not be in this place because they're a very stable organization. Most organizations who think that way, they have GMs GMing for their job, I'd like to say. And so the immediate is much more important to them than the future.
Yeah, it's like people who pay money for overnight shipping, Johnny Mac. I need it now.
Exactly.
They need it now.
Exactly. Baltimore shouldn't be in that position. And he got a 2019 second round pick. You got a future second round.
Yeah, that's a good trade. Howie's been great with those future, man. Remember the Devontae Smith trade back about a month before the draft? You remember we had like the 6th pick. We traded back to 12. We got a future one. That was a hell of a trade, that one.
Now, also remember what I said about quarterbacks. Baltimore was coming up to get a quarterback. So it's more valuable to them. It's more valuable, as I talked about with Patrick Mahomes, even when it doesn't work out. Like, look what San Francisco did for Trey Lance. It's more valuable to them. So, and believe me, they're happy with it. Baltimore's happy with it. But that, and I think people will look at it and say, Baltimore got Lamar Jackson, so that's not a good trade for the Eagles. It was a damn good trade for the Eagles.
The Eagles weren't taking Lamar, so they maximized their value while Baltimore did as well. It's a win-win. Sounds like a win-win.
It is.
It's rare that it happens like that in the NFL.
Exactly.
But it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
A win-win there. Johnny Mac, let's get into some players. Or I mean, we could talk positions first, but one position I want to ask you about before we go players is secondary, because a lot of people are throwing out, I want Malachi Starks and I want Nick Emenwari or I want Benjamin Morrison. And I love those players too. They're all really good players. But from my perspective, I just don't see Howie going secondary because you're not maximizing your value with those top picks based on where they are on the roster right now. You get an edge rusher that's producing. I mean, you're saving a lot of money on the cap. You get a safety that's producing. How much money are you saving? So I don't think they're really an option. But maybe I'm wrong. Do you think they would consider going safety or corner in round 1 again?
Very unlikely. Corner. I would say extremely unlikely corner. Very unlikely safety. That's how I would describe it. Hey, with safety, well, first of all, you're probably talking about two players, and one is definitely not going to be there from my perspective, and that's Emmett Worry. I
Yeah.
guess there's a slight 15% chance that maybe Malachi Starks will fall. And if he's there, yeah, you might consider it. But I think it's so unlikely. I don't think it's even worth discussing. And obviously he's from Georgia, so that factors into it. So, I mean, that's it. That's what you're talking about. And I think it's very unlikely at 32 that either of those players are going to be there. And then you start talking about, all right, people want to trade up, yada, yada, yada. We just talked about it. You're not getting as much as you think. To go way up to get those. And where would you have to go to get Emmett Moore? Forget about him. You're not. I'm talking about targeted trade up 4 or 5 spots for Malachi Starks. I don't see it. I don't see it. But we'll see. I could see the Eagles not getting a safety, and then Justin Simmons shows up. I can see that.
Yeah.
That'll make you happy. Short
Well,
term.
it's like last year, right? We didn't get the offensive lineman, Fatano, and picked up Mekhi Becton after the draft, right? I mean, I think that could happen, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that might happen this year if you don't get as well with Jedrick Wills or somebody like that. There's still stuff to be done. But yeah, I don't see the fit at safety and 32 and corner. You just spent 22 and 40 on corner. You're not doubling down. The one guy I've talked to, and I'm probably partially responsible this, is Morrison, because he's really good. If he didn't get hurt, I think he'd be a top 20 pick. And I'm saying if he's there in the second round, not the first round, then you start talking about the value and just take the player because of the value. But even that, I mean, he's not going to last to 64. So I would say no.
That's where those 2 second-round picks are going to get back, John.
Well, why not 3? Why not 3?
Yeah, get a couple, draft everybody. Get Landon, get Norris,
if somebody falls in love with Jalen Milroe, you might get a future second. But
I'm
that's not
telling
going
to. They're starting to gas him up a little bit, Jalen Milroe.
You're not getting a pick to get a player this year, though. You're getting a future pick to take advantage of one of these dummies that's GMing for their jobs.
What do you think of Milroe? Because honestly, I'm slanted because he didn't have much success from Alabama. Well, he did. He was successful. That's a lie. That's a lie. But if you look at it through the Alabama lens,
between Nick Saban and
well, I agree. But he was with Saban too. But I was hard on him in his college career. But at the end of the day, I want to see him succeed. I think he's a good kid, got a good head on his shoulders. But I think if he goes to the right team with the right coach, he could potentially be something because he's just so athletic. But
I think he's by far, I'll say this, I think he's by far the most gifted physically quarterback in this class.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I don't think he's too far along. So you have to have a lot of confidence in your development and all that kind of stuff. I don't like this quarterback class a little bit.
Yeah, did you see our guy Ian Cummings? Remember he was just getting into the draft when we had him on. He did it. He put out some of his first quarterback stuff yesterday. Not very good.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think Cam Ward's a legit first round pick, but he's going to be the number 1 pick overall. I think he should be 20 or something like that. I think he should be in the Kenny Pickett range. Somewhere in that, but because he's the best quarterback in this draft by far, he's going to go number 1. That's just because of that. And Sanders, and boy, I saw somebody make the comp, and I don't know who made the comp, but I don't think Sanders is even first round pick. I wouldn't take that kid in the first round. I saw somebody compare him to Brock Purdy from a size.
I think that was Ian.
Was it?
I think it was Ian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe it was.
I mean, look.
So shout out to Ian. I know I saw the comparison. I went, oof, because I kind of, and that Brock's turned into a very good player, but he was,
Ian, by the way. Yeah,
he was a 7th round pick, is my point. Not that you have, but he's got some of the size issues. He doesn't have the big arm, that type of stuff. Typically, when you think of top 5 picks, you're talking about traits with quarterbacks, and he doesn't have top 5 traits. He just doesn't.
He doesn't have an elite arm. He's not like
No.
elite speed or any of those things.
Just doesn't. And then that's what Milrose, to me, is by far the most physically gifted quarterback, but he's way too raw, way too inconsistent. And then you start to get to the second level, the Will Howards of the world, the Jackson Darts of the world. I saw John Gruden's working out with Riley Leonard and the Dylan Gabriels and the Quinn Ewers, Kyle McCord. Of them all, I would take Kyle McCord.
I like McCord. Let's go, Johnny Mac. I like McCord.
And the kid from Louisville too. He's big, at least. Boy, I don't like, this is not the year to be looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, no. Listen to what. So this is what Ian Cummings. Those of you who listen to Birds 365 know Ian. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. We'll get him back on soon as well. I talked to Ian, so he's willing to come on with us all the way up to the draft and through the draft. So we'll have him on plenty. He had number 1, Cam Ward, and he has him as a round 1 grade. And then he put Gap 2, Shedeur Sanders, top 45, Gap, Jalen Milroe 3, top 100, Gap, Jackson Dart, priority day 3 pick. So that's what he has on your top 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I could see somebody taking, and Milroe and Dart are probably the guys who maybe somebody convinces themselves to take a shot at.
Yeah, if you're an Eagles fan, you want them to get gassed up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the 2 guys that I could see potentially somebody talking themselves into.
Well, it's happening to me, John. We talk about this every year, how the NFL, as you get closer to the draft, the quarterbacks get tough. It's happening to me. I'm starting to like Shedeur Sanders, John. I'm starting to like Shedeur Sanders.
I'll take him at 32. I'm not taking him in the top 5.
You know what I'm betting on? 1, I like the swagger. I like the confidence. I like a confident guy like that. And 2, I'm betting on, he did turn around Colorado. He turned around Jackson State. He's Deion's son. I don't know. I look at that and I'm like, yeah, this is a guy that he's got marketability. Well, I think he's got, a good head on his shoulders to be able to handle the pressure of the NFL spotlight. I'm starting to like Shedeur Sanders, but maybe I'm just like an NFL team and I'm falling for him late.
Well, I don't even think the bad NFL teams care about marketability. It's great, for the, maybe Don Smolensky.
Well, you got to be able to handle the spotlight. Carson Wentz, don't you think they would have done a little more research on that? Don't you think they wish they did that? He crumbled like a piece of loose leaf.
No, I think they're very happy with the Carson Wentz pick. No, I do.
I agree. I mean, he was a big part of the reason we won a Super Bowl.
I'm not a
Wentz hater at all. I'm just saying.
They had never won a Super Bowl. I think now, people get spoiled so quickly. They had never won a Super Bowl. And people give Nick all the credit. They weren't getting to the damn Super Bowl if Carson didn't play the way he did during it. So I think I know the team looks at it that way as a successful pick. Now, did they project him to fall apart when they drafted Jalen Hurts? Obviously not. That kind of stuff. I don't know how you get in people's heads, how he handled that. And part of it was injuries as well. Who knows what that concussion did to him, because he was never the same player.
Yeah, I was at that game, man. That was tough.
And then you talk about the knee, and he was a big physical guy who was tremendously athletic for his size. And I think when he lost some of that mobility, he never shifted gears to say, all right, I got to take advantage of my other skills. It was always like, how many plays did Carson Wentz try to extend and
Yeah.
He just kept in, once you lose that part of your game, if you don't adjust, because he had the arm strength, he had everything to adjust, but he didn't. And I think a lot of it is, I always bring up the pandemic, he went the same way. Jalen had a lot of mechanical issues, as most young quarterbacks do coming out of college, because they're not taught well.
Yeah, especially, by the way, especially guys who are athletic and can run, because they've been able to rely on that at every level.
Yeah, they're generally the best player on the field, yada, yada,
Right.
dating back to high school, and they get away with it. So Jalen had to make a difficult decision to morph away from his longtime quarterbacks coach and go out to Los Angeles and work with Tom House and Adam Daydew. And, he got better. He got better. And he continues to do it to this day. Not spending all off season, but he goes out there for a refresher. Doesn't like to talk about it because he doesn't want to sort of upset, the people that got him there to begin with. But sometimes you got to be honest with yourself and say, all right, I've stagnated. I got to go here to improve. And he was able to do that, figure that out, and he continues to do it. Carson did the exact same thing between 2021 and 2022. He worked with those guys. He got so much better. He took off, never went back. Pandemic part of it, everything shut down.
Yeah,
Nobody could go anywhere.
That was a wild year in the NFL. No fans in the stadiums and shit.
I loved it. Traffic, man. Whoa.
Johnny Mac driving right in, driving right out after those games. That was like J-Mac's dream.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. But I digress.
It must have been so lifeless, though, the games. I mean,
it was terrible. It was weird. It was weird. There were some interesting parts, like you could hear things better.
Right. I could see that.
Yeah, it was, a lot. It's like taping a TV show almost, and on a closed set.
Right.
There's no life to it. But yeah, and boy, there's so many. I'd have to do a 15-hour show of the stupid things that people did during the pandemic, but the NFL was at the top level of stupid.
Placating everybody, John. You're trying to appease everybody, John. Yeah. You just talked about this the other day with how they try and appease, everybody from even the TV perspective and a safety perspective. Yeah. Don't try and please everyone. Just do what you got to do in the business.
Exactly.
That was one of the
overtime kills me because I brought up the Eagles are, and I think it's common sense rule change. They have different rules for overtime now, regular season, postseason.
Yeah, which is so stupid.
What sense does that make? So they're trying to uniform them. But I go all the way back to the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes game where everybody got their panties in a bunch and said, oh, he's got to get the football. They went down and scored, didn't get a chance. Oh, they had a chance. The defense could have stopped Kansas City. Everybody says there's a famous Matt Hasselbeck game where he won the coin toss and he said, we're gonna take the football, we're gonna score. You remember that? Some people may, but that's what he said, and I don't care, have some confidence. And all of a sudden, a couple plays later, I forget the corner pick sixed him. Pick six, game's over. They won the coin toss. Everybody's like, well, the game's over. No, it's not. Sudden death. I don't think they should have changed it from that. Is it perfect? No. Is it compelling? Hell yeah. The game is about entertainment, not about appeasing all these morons. And the NFL, wants to appease everybody. They're like that. They're like that goofy friend who wants everybody to does anything. Yeah, I'll do this for you. 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 You're the guy worth $1 billion. Let them come to you.
Right.
I mean, they're worth far more than that. But they try to appease everybody. Just ignore them.
John, are you going to write a book one day?
If I ever get time. So, yeah.
I'd love for J-Mac to write a book. You got to do it when you're still on JAKIB. Then we can promote the hell out of it. You'll be getting sales left and right. People love to listen to and read Johnny Mac. John, good stuff. Good stuff there. It's going to be interesting to see, man, this draft process. Some good conversation there with the way, the way the board works and everything like that, and priorities. But John, on the most recent Daniel Jeremiah mock draft, which I know I'm not big on mocks like you, but certain people you listen to more. After listening to you talk about Daniel Jeremiah, I think Daniel Jeremiah is a guy to listen to. It doesn't mean he's going to be right and he's going to change and do another mock draft, I'm for sure. But on his most recent mock draft post free agency, he had Shamar Stewart falling to 32 in the Philadelphia Eagles, drafting him. We talked about him. He was an excellent combine player this year. I don't know if he's available, but or if they would do that. But what do you think of that fit for the Birds?
Yeah, that I would love. Same thing. I don't know how realistic it is, but there's only 32 of these things. So if somebody starts to fall, and he's a guy who, obviously from a physical trait standpoint, he's 6'6", 290. I always talked about the Eagles need more size on the edge. He's a perfect fit for them. And maybe he falls a little bit because of his lack of production in college. He wasn't a big sack guy, despite all his gifts.
He wasn't super productive on the field, but great traits.
And boy, I can't imagine 31 NFL teams passing on that guy. He's got top 10 traits, but he didn't play like a top 10 player. But if you're just talking about physical gifts, easily maybe top 5 in this draft. Easily. I find it very hard to believe he's going to be at 32. If he is at 32, I'm racing up to put the card in. Exact player the Eagles need. Exact player.
Wow.
I keep saying they need a centerpiece for the pass rush. Now, it's tough to project out of any rookie. So I'm talking more about 2-3 years down the line. Now you hope they hit the ground running like Quinion and Cooper, but that's probably more of an outlier.
I'm not ruling anything out with Vic Fangio. I don't want to. That's one thing I will do. I'm not going to rule anything out with Vic Fangio back there, man. I really think he's going to pull the most out of all these players.
And it might take a little bit of time, like I said, but I'm willing to wait. If you can get a player with that much talent at 32, that is the easiest choice the Eagles will ever have to make at a position they value. Unless there's something behind the scenes and, that kind of stuff, which we don't know about and we can't know about. And that's where Dom comes in. But I haven't heard anything with Shamar. That kind of stuff. There's always things that could derail it. Health, medical stuff. Haven't heard anything. From a physical standpoint, if you get a player like that at the 32 in the draft, you thank your lucky stars and hand it in and don't even worry about any of the other stuff.
Yeah. We'll see if he makes it there. I'm with you. I don't think he's going to fall that far, but if he did, it would be an easy pick, almost as easy as Crowley brings up. The easiest choice was Jalen Carter. Shit was Freelo. You're right, Crowley. That was an easy decision, man, especially for how he.
Oh, that was the easiest decision for the Eagles. That's the most Eaglesy pick of Eaglesy's pick. But you're also talking about a top 10 pick. There's a big difference between top 10 and Jalen should have been obviously top 5, and probably he was the best player in that draft. But always quarterbacks are different, but he was the top position player in that draft from a talent standpoint. And he fell for a reason, and it was a legitimate reason, but he still didn't fall that far because that's how gifted he is. But yeah, that was an easy choice for the Eagles. But there's a big difference between top 10 and 32.
Yeah, Jalen, I mean, let's be real. Jalen Carter should have been number 1 overall, if we're being honest with ourselves. But obviously that wasn't going to happen with obviously what had happened at that time. And everything worked out for the Eagles' favor because now I think you got a certified beast on the Eagles defensive line for years and years and years to come. So we'll see how it all shakes out. John, any other names that you like in the draft right now at that 32 spot, or even if they move back? We've talked about how the board isn't all that different, between 20 and 50 or somewhere in that range. Any names jumping out to you, John, that you personally like in this draft?
Well, that's a position. Obviously, Abdul Carter's not going to be there.
Right.
Mike Green from Marshall, the kid from Boston College. I don't want to. Izaraku, thank you. Mikael Williams. A lot of players at that very deep position. James Pierce. He's like the opposite of Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, he is.
He tested so poorly, but he's so productive on the field. And again, I don't think he's going to last at 32. Somebody's going to take a chance on him.
I could see him falling.
But he performs so poorly. And I'm sure he'll do his pro day and he'll be better. Sometimes you just have a bad day. So I'm sure he's not going to last. But
the schools muddy those up to the pro days.
Yeah, Penn State does. Jeff Kerr. Yeah, Penn State's famous for.
I could see that. I mean, I could
and that's part of it. They're going to fudge.
Even yesterday, or a couple days ago, Bama's. Milroe ran like a 4.37.
They're going to fudge the numbers,
and
you're going to hear the numbers you hear come from the school. That's why they're always so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Now the smart teams, and most teams, I shouldn't even say all teams have. If they're there, they're going to do their own timing, so they don't even give a shit. Because they know what's going on. But so those are the first round guys. Carter, obvious. Pierce, Green, Ezaraku, Mikael Williams, Georgia guys, so they'll probably take him if he's there. And Shamar Stewart. And then I think you go down to the potential day 2 guys, and they're deep there as well. You got Landon Jackson from Arkansas. You got Nick Scourton from Texas A&M. You got Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. You got a bunch of guys. Kyle Kernard, I know they were down at South Carolina Pro Day. He'd be more of a third round pick for me. They're going to get an edge rusher. Or a defensive front person. Could be a defensive tackle as well. But they're going to get somebody on the defensive front, I guarantee, over those first 2 days.
No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm with Paul Mancini, brings up the guy. We both of us have talked about this guy, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. I like that as a fit. We'll see.
Well, tackle, yeah.
He's a tackle, not an edge, but good defensive line player. I could see that for sure. We'll see what they end up doing. Johnny Mac. John, we're going to have Les Bowen coming up in a little bit here, about 18 minutes or so. We'll talk to Les. Looking forward to talking to Les Bowen. It's been a little bit. We'll see what he thinks so far of the Eagles' Temu offseason. All right, and what's upcoming in the NFL draft. Something I wanted to bring up to you yesterday, today, John. Not that it's the biggest thing in the world, but Devontae Smith was on a podcast. I forget who was that with. I watched a lot of the interview, and I'm blanking on who the heck it was with.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I didn't. I just saw the clip. I
think it was on Carmelo Anthony's, wasn't it? Carmelo Anthony's podcast, 7 PBK. But anyway, he spoke about Slay. I saw you post it out, and I'm like, boy, I don't really. It's one of those things where I've been saying the phrase recently. At what point is our opinions overrated? Opinions of Slay are far overrated. I'm listening to Devontae Smith, credit his NFL ability, credit his NFL talent and stuff to, being molded by Darius Slay, who's like, he's a great leader. He told me what to do in practice, told me everything I was doing wrong. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry, Eagle fans, you might not like Darius Slay, but I'm going to
part of the reason I retweeted it is because selfish. I've heard these stories from Devontae. I've said them on the show, but people aren't going to listen to me because, but they'll listen to Devontae, hopefully. I've talked about what a great teammate Slay is so many times over the years on this show. because some people, and yet sure enough, I tweeted and you got this one idiot troll. Oh, he should shut the fuck up. And
yeah, I saw it.
And by the way, he's got is obviously these people tend not to put their faces on their words, and he's got a face of CJ saying Slay should shut the, I'm like, yeah, all right. But
he was a troll in JAKIB for a little bit, and then I roasted him. Luke's dad. Some people in the chat might remember him. I roasted Luke's dad one day, and then he's like, "I'm never coming back here. You're too mean." I'm like, "Good, get the fuck out of here, troll."
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I told the Devin Allen story. I've tried to explain he's a team captain for 3 years, not because he's a 6-time Pro Bowl player, because he's voted for by his teammates, like Devontae Smith. Devontae's been talking about it when he first got here, and he told the story on the show. He'd run routes, and Slay would say, what it was before, and he was saying, well, how does this fucking guy know what I'm running? It's just because how savvy and smart, and he's seen it all, and he knows what's coming. And he would tell Devontae exactly what he was tipping off. And he's trying to explain the situation. That's how he's advanced so far in his career. He's gotten so good. He's one of the best route runners in the NFL. A lot of that he gives credit to Slay for helping. And Slay's that rare guy, and I bring it up all the time because he's told the story to me many times. When he came in as a rookie in Detroit, he had some very good veteran players who took him under their wings. And he felt it was always his responsibility to do the same, to pay it forward to other young players. And if you talk to Quinyon Mitchell, if you talk to Cooper DeJean, if you talk to Reed Blankenship, all the young defensive backs, they say the same thing. People are going to realize what they're missing when there's no Slay out there. Because I guarantee you, Ringo is 23 years old, can run like the wind, and Slay can still run at his age, amazingly. But not
really well for his age.
Not like Ringo, but Ringo has the size and length and everything you could be to be a great NFL corner. I love the guy. I say it all the time. AJ told me he's going to be really good. He ain't going to be Darius Slay.
And he's certainly not looking at a rookie wide receiver and
he ain't calling
out every route he's about to run. He's not doing that.
No. So, yeah, I talked about Brandon a lot because he retired this week. Slay's almost in that same category. For whatever reason, I don't know how you're a 6-time Pro Bowler and underrated, but he's underrated. And all the stuff, and he, even last year, because everybody fell in love with Quinyon, and rightfully so. Quinyon will tell you right away who the cornerback one on that team was, and it wasn't Quinyon Mitchell.
Right.
And now it has to be, and he's going to have to step up in that role, and he's got all the skills to do it, and he's a very good player, but he's not going to be as savvy as Darius Slay, at least right away. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So take your opinion of Darius Slay. You can roll it up in a ball and chuck it in the trash, because I'm going to listen to the players who played with Darius Slay, the guys who helped win us a Super Bowl in this city, talk about Darius Slay. Again, my opinion of him, don't really care about it. I mean, the players love him, obviously. And it was another thing Devontae said on that podcast. It was great. I love listening to Devontae Smith. He's not a guy that opens up a lot, but he had great stuff on that podcast. I listened to a lot of it, so it was a really good job. Really well done by him. Good to listen to Devontae. He gave Jalen Hurts a little bit of love, in the same breath. That's why people are bashing Slay, because he's like, yeah, Slay could have just done this. Devontae said it's the big 5, and Jalen's in there. I'm with you, Devontae.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'll never understand people who want to be validated, don't want to be told the truth. So
everybody has a different definition of the truth.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. But I mean, validation, but I think most people understand, like most fans understand their fans, I think. I think.
Yeah, I cared a lot less about the top 5 list that Devontae did, and I cared about the story he told about
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts
exactly.
and going to Alabama and knowing
And
that
first of
Jalen was
all,
in that room.
Slay's
And
a
then,
huge Jalen Hurts fan, a huge Jalen Hurts fan. And he didn't say anything bad about Jalen Hurts. He just said what everybody in the NFL thinks.
not everybody.
Yeah, in the NFL, everybody.
Well, Devontae Smith just said he didn't agree. He's
Well,
in the NFL.
validation wise, I'm talking about personnel people, coach. I'm not talking about teammates. Love their
All right,
teammates.
that's fine.
You know, and by the way, I shouldn't say 100%. There's always one knucklehead, but I'm saying the vast majority. You know, if you talk to I'm sorry, this, you know me. I don't even want to bring it up. If you talk to executives and personnel people and scouts, they are going to tell you that Joe Burrow is better than Jalen Hurts. They are going to tell you that almost uniformly. Even the Eagles, if there's no cameras there and they're being honest. Again, you could say that about Josh Sweat. You could say that about Milton Williams. You could say that even about Jalen Carter. You could say Chris Jones is still better than Jalen Carter. You might get some people up in there, you know, who love but they're not going to go berserk and lose their minds. You could say it about any other position. You can't say it about quarterback. There's certain guys, Myles Garrett, Joe Burrow's that at the quarterback position. That's the guy, you know. More people will say now because of Patrick's poor performance in the Super Bowl, which again speaks to the ridiculous extreme nature of the quarterback position, and people jumping that he's going, oh, he played so poorly in the Super Bowl. He's not Patrick Mahomes anymore. So it works, but it's not just Philadelphia, it's everywhere. It's every quarterback, you know. And yeah, but I'm not talking about the randos like Doug Kleinman on
I don't even think Doug Kleinman's real. I think
he's not. He's not.
He sold that account. He sold that account to someone who's an engagement farmer.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the grifters and all that stuff who try to do it on purpose and especially the easiest fan base to get up in arms is the Eagles because of the passion. But they don't have passion over Brandon Graham. They don't have passion over. They do, but they don't. They do, but they don't. Like I can say that. I can say Myles Garrett is better than anybody, and nobody has an issue with it. Even though he played on one of the worst teams in football.
Well, I feel like those positions are a lot less subjective than quarterback, you know, because the quarterback is such a widely, it encompasses so many different things, and there's so many different ways to gauge it. That's why the old debate is wins a quarterback stat. Like nobody says is wins an edge rusher stat, you know, so the quarterback position is just different. I think. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying the two positions are much different.
They do it and just in a different way. Like the people that criticize Myles Garrett, you know, the grifters or whatever.
Right. He never
will say, why is Cleveland doing it? Say they don't win games. They might not point to their record. I'm not debating that quarterback is not more important than every other position. It is. That's why it has broken people's evaluation of the position. It's not hard to evaluate the position. And by that, I mean, it's not hard to look at the film and see what people are doing well and doing not well for personnel people. It's always hard to find great players, but it's not hard to evaluate the position. Like nobody in the league thinks Patrick Mahomes is a bad quarterback because he had a bad game in the Super Bowl. And I'm talking about, again, I'm not talking about engagement farmers. I'm not talking about fans. I'm not talking about media. I'm talking about people who do it for a living, people in the league, GMs, personnel people, scouts, people that evaluate the game of football as a professional, you know, get paid to do it.
Yeah, career. I got you.
There's nobody who thinks Patrick Mahomes is a bad quarterback because he had a bad Super Bowl. And by the way, there's nobody that believes Jalen Hurts was a bad quarterback before the Super Bowl. And there's nobody that believes he was a bad quarterback and all of a sudden is a good quarterback because of the way he performed in the Super Bowl. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but the body of work comes into play. Like you mentioned, nobody thinks Patrick Mahomes is bad. Well, yeah, this guy's got 3 Super Bowls. I mean, he had 1 bad game. You know, Jalen Hurts is now the body of work, John, is becoming
I'm
so
saying it
impressive.
doesn't change. That it
Yeah, I know what
changes.
you're saying. You're saying that
It
just
doesn't
because he
change
has
it for
that
them.
doesn't mean
It doesn't change it for them. It might change it for everybody else. It doesn't change it for them. That's why it's easy for people to say Joe Burrow's better than Jalen Hurts. It's not even a discussion in league circles. Like they'll laugh at you. It's like, come on. It's not a debate. It's not a debate. That's all the other stuff. That's media people. I'm not criticizing media people as well. I'm saying inside the league, it's not a debate.
Are we leaving out? Are we leaving out though? Just blanketly, are we leaving out some of the things that I think are more valuable than maybe is viewed in the league? Like, if talent was isolated, then yeah. But I don't think talent is the only thing that wins you games or takes you the full distance in the NFL. And I think Jalen does all of those other things elite. Now they're not quantified, they're not put on stat sheets, and they're harder to gauge in the conversation. But I think they matter. If you're saying that, take everything out and just look at the talent. Who throws the best? Who does the quarterback position the best? All right, yeah. Maybe Jalen's not in the elite of the elite in that. But if you take everything that it takes to win in the NFL, which is a lot more than just talent, I think Jalen is. I think he's right there. I think he's best of the best.
I don't. Again, I'm talking 2 different parts of it. Look, that's for fans and media people and all that, and that's great, and that's how we make our money, and that's how we do things, and we have to do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have these conversations. I'm talking about people in the league. That's all I'm talking about. It doesn't change for them. It's not hard for them. They're evaluating a particular position. We're kicking off March Madness. We've kicked off March. It's a perfect example. You have Cinderella on any given day. That's what fuels the popularity of the NCAA tournament. You have these awesome upsets, right, where if that particular team played the heavy favorite, then they upset them. If you play it 90 times, if you play it 100 times, they're going to win it 90 times minimum, probably 95. But there's that one time on a particular day that they jump up and they make that's what makes sports. Right. I used to have this discussion with Jody all the time. He'd drive me crazy. I'm like, well, they're the best team because they won. No, they're fucking not. They were better on that day. How boring would sports be?
If the best team always wins.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
It is one of the dumbest conversations I've ever had because and that's not to say because I think the Eagles were better. I'm not talking. I think the Eagles were a better team than Kansas City.
Yeah, but isn't there something to be said about what you just said and how it relates to the quarterback position? Because I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong about the whole talent thing, but it seems like every time you need Jalen Hurts to play great in a game that matters or on a given day, he plays great. He does whatever the team needs him to do, and his team prevails a lot more often than not.
Maybe I can make it Eagles-centric, and maybe this will resonate. Probably won't, but this will resonate. All right, Jalen Hurts has played 2 Super Bowls. He was better in the one he lost than the one he won. Number one. That's number one. Number 2, over the 3 Super Bowls the Eagles have been in, Nick Foles had the best game. Jalen Hurts is better than Nick Foles. Period. End of sentence. It's not even fucking close. Maybe that will resonate more with Eagles fans because so many of them love Nick, and they should. And that was a phenomenal 2-game run from Nick Foles. I don't think there's a quarterback on the planet that will have a 2-game run like that, potentially, again. It was a 2-game run. He's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's not the best quarterback in Eagles history. He's not better than Jalen Hurts. He's not better than Carson Wentz. He's not better than Donovan McNabb, etc. He's not better than Ron Jaworski, etc., etc., etc. Maybe that can resonate because you take the outside world away from it. For personnel people, it's not difficult. You're evaluating the player. Any player can have a great game, a great run, any player. That's why you don't evaluate on one game. You're going to see up to the draft, you got all these draft nicks all over the place. So many of them just look at highlights. Wow, this is great. This is great. This is great. Scouts look at the worst plays. They look at the good plays.
Right.
But they want to see the worst plays. What happened here? What went wrong here? Did he improve from this? It's not hard for them, is all I'm saying.
I got you. I see what you're saying. For me, I'll give Jalen Hurts an elite credit, but I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to debate back with you on it. Good stuff, everybody. Appreciate all you guys being here. We got Les Bowen coming up. Let me rattle through the super chats real quick. Dank Bird Gang, what's up, Dank? Over under how he drafts the original pick. 3.
What, 32? I would say I would say he's going to trade from 32. More likely down than up.
I agree. Kyle Studer, what's up, Kyle? He says, if Eagles throw a dart at QB, I'd like to see Quinn Ewers. Yeah, I like Quinn. I think he's going to be actually decent.
I don't think they're taking a quarterback. I think they think.
You don't think they'll take one like late rounds, like 5, 6, or 7?
They got Tanner McKee. They got Tanner McKee and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. If they wanted to add a quarterback, it would be more of a veteran approach, but they don't want to pay anybody. So, I think both of those guys are better prospects than Quinn Ewers. So, both of them, at least from a talent perspective.
Brian checks in. He says number 32 rolls around, and Mike Green, Nolan, Hairston, and James Pierce are sitting there for all field.
Oh, James Pierce.
I'll crash out when he takes the Minnesota offensive tackle.
No, I take James Pierce. He's not going to be there, but even with
you take James Pierce over Walter Nolan and Mike Green?
Even with the shitty combine, I take Pierce.
I would take Nolan there. I think I would take Nolan there. I really like that Walter Nolan. JD3 checks in. What about Malachi Moore in later rounds? I like Mason Taylor at tight end 2 behind future All-Pro Mackey Award winner Kobe's long-lost son, Harrison Bryant.
Was that our Harrison Bryant has solved the tight end?
And he is correct, John. Harrison Bryant was a Mackey Award winner back in the day. Yeah,
good for him. Yeah, I'd rather have Dallas Goedert. We'll see if the Eagles can.
Me too. I don't know why they're going to get rid of him. I was watching the Super Bowl mic'd up the other day that the Eagles put out. I didn't realize they put one out like later, and Goedert was a major part in that Super Bowl. So I don't know why.
Major part of the whole postseason.
The whole postseason. He led the team in receiving yards and receptions in the postseason. Real Zeal. Final super chat. Then we're going to get the Les Bowen coming up next here on Birds 365. He says, I hate draft talk. Everyone in the chat thinks they're Mel Kiper Jr. Just because you watch a Bruce Lee movie doesn't mean
they saw two highlights. You
got to read. Just because you watch a Bruce Lee movie doesn't mean you know karate.
Yeah. Well, I said, look at the bad plays. If you're a film, don't look at the highlights. Look at the bad plays and figure out what went wrong and figure out if they improved. Don't look at highlights. Don't scout highlights.
Right.
But yeah, nobody's got, it's not easy. Not easy to project players.
No, it's not. Good stuff, everybody. Appreciate you all being here. Hit that like button for us. We appreciate everybody as always. We've had another great week on Birds 365. Wrapping up here on a Football Friday. Got 40 minutes left to go. Coming up next, Les Bowen's going to join the show. We'll be right back in 3 minutes, everybody, on Birds 365.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, we got this.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365, wrapping up phase 2 of free agency. We're joined now by Les Bowen, joining the show. Les, welcome to the show, man. How you doing on this Football Friday?
Great. How are you, Zander? How are you, John?
Doing well. Good to see you, buddy. I haven't talked to you in a while, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the clearance aisle off season, man. The Eagles have been paying too many people. They know what's coming down the road with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and even Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they had to let some people go. That was difficult. And everybody who's come in less 1 year, very little money. Mm-hmm. What do you think of the clearance aisle off season so far?
Well, the main thing that strikes me is you work so long and so hard to win a Super Bowl. And then it's almost like you're like grabbing guys off the parade bus to release or trade them. You know, it just seems so abrupt and so quick. And so I think Josh Sweat even said something in his press conference out in Arizona about how you didn't really get to celebrate the Super Bowl at all. You know, this is true in every sport, I guess. It's nothing new, but we don't win that many championships around here, so it seems odd to us. It really struck me as, you know, that everything kind of goes in a different direction so fast. And
we were talking about the draft before you came on. I'm like, I haven't even thought about the draft. It's right. It's when you go that far and you win, and boy, then you're right into free agency. It's amazing how quick it goes. But guys like Milton Williams, I love Milton Williams personally. You know, I went to his football camp, his youth football camp a couple years ago. Developed a little bit of a relationship. I thought he bet on himself. I thought he's such a great story. 26 million is gone. Boom. It from that point, it's so disappointing, but it is just business as usual for the NFL. But the Eagles are on this run, Les. I mean, 3 Super Bowls in 8 years, 2 Super Bowl championships. They probably should have won the third one. I think they played better in the game. They're now they've raised the expectations as an organization, and everybody wants them to go back. Is it legitimate to think that way, or is it fair for the Eagles to say, "Hey, we want to build this thing for the long term"? How do you feel about that? Seize the window versus I want to be more fiscally responsible.
Yeah. Well, I'm conflicted about it, like a lot of people. First of all, I don't think anything that's happened so far takes them out of the realm of contention for the Super Bowl. They aren't as good a team as they were in early February, but they're still a very, very, very good team. And the one thing that they absolutely had to do, which was re-sign Zach Bond, they did. So I'm not like, oh my God, this is, they're starting over again or anything. No, they're not. I do feel, though, there is a lot of focus on the cap 2 years from now and 3 years from now.
They would say it's cash.
Howie Roseman
it's
knows what he's doing.
It's
What's
the
that?
Cash. It's not the cap. It's the cash. They spent so much cash up front. Like the Eagles will tell you, over the past decade, their whole philosophy has been cash over cap. So, in other words, they put all those voidable years on the back end and to lessen the cap hit so they could build a better team in the immediate in the immediacy of it. But now it's coming down. They know what's coming down the road. Like Jalen Carter's going to reset the market at defensive tackle.
Right.
Cam Jurgens is going to be top 5. Go ahead.
As far as I don't really understand what their limitations are cash wise, but the cap went up $20 million this year.
Yeah.
And I think, getting too tied up in what your obligations are going to be 2 years down the road. I mean, obviously Howie Roseman knows this stuff way better than I do, but I can't help but feel Howie was marked by the 2018 experience when he tried to hold on to a bunch of guys who it turned out kept getting hurt and maybe weren't, that wasn't the way to go. That doesn't mean you do everything exactly the opposite this time. I don't think. It's a different team. It's a younger team. And you're
very young.
You're getting rid of some guys that, certainly have a lot of good tread left on their tires. I'm still not clear on exactly why C.J. Gardner-Johnson had to go. I don't know. Like a lot of people, I understand that we're talking about the most successful organization in the sport. Arguably, you go next to Kansas City or whatever in the last decade. But I would have liked to have seen one or two of those guys stick around.
They playing with too much fire, in your opinion, Les? I mean, you just brought up a good point. I think they are. 18 is in their mind, and they're trying to recorrect. But boy, you're asking for a lot of things that are statistically against you to go your way in order to compete next year. When you talk about 1-year deals and all sorts of reclamation projects, do you think they've gone too far, or do you like the approach by Howie?
I don't philosophically object to the approach. Like I said, I just feel like maybe one or two of these guys, it would have been good to find a way to keep them around rather than, we've got to get everybody out. Here's the thing. Their premise is they're going to have a lot of guys making a lot of money. And the rest of the roster is going to have to be people on rookie contracts. So they got all these draft picks stacked up. And they've done historically well in the draft, like the last 3 or 4 years. It's been a phenomenal run.
And that's changing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Nobody's that smart. Nobody beats the draft forever and ever and ever every year. And I think a lot of fans are kind of expecting that now. Like, oh, they'll just draft a bunch of great players. First of all, some of those great picks that they've made, they were able to get really high first-round picks one way or another.
Yeah.
And that credit
it's
to
easier
Howie
to get
for
it.
doing that.
Jalen Carter was what, 9?
Yeah.
Smith was 10.
Davis was
10.
13.
Davis was
Devontae
13.
Smith, they traded up for in the top 10. Credit to Howie for being able to do that. But guess what? The position they're in this year, it's going to be almost impossible to pick in the top 10 or 15. I mean, they'd have to give up a lot to get there. And are they going to just continue to kill the draft year after year after year? That's kind of almost what they're basing this on, is that they will. Maybe not. I hope they do. But
I mean, even last year, Les, was a lot of things went your way on that defense. Think about it. You had Quinion, Cooper, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean turned into something. Nolan Smith turned into a lot of stuff went your way last year. It
was phenomenal. It was unbelievable. Even guys like Isaiah Rodgers, who's gone now.
Warren Burks in the Super Bowl.
Yes, and I thought that was going to be a huge
problem.
Oh,
I thought that Nakobe got hurt against Green Bay.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be a big issue. And
I hadn't really seen much from Oren Burks. He had played some defensive snaps during the regular season and didn't really look that good, frankly. But he had a tremendous playoff. He
did.
And again, a guy that they just sort of bye-bye. He didn't get a lot of money. I guess that's what I'm saying is I understand, like you were mentioning Milt Williams, and I like Milt Williams a lot as well, but there was a guy that got the money.
$26 million.
Absolutely. I understand that. Some of these other things, you're looking at the money and you're like,
Well, sometimes I do think, Les, that, and as you point out, I feel silly saying it because Howie knows this stuff better than me. But like when they get a guy like Oren Burks, because I'm with you, why wouldn't you want Oren Burks back?
Right.
Well, when he gets to that second year, they did the same thing with Kaiser White. I remember, hey, they'll like Kaiser White back if it's a 1-year deal, but we can't go to 2 years.
Yeah.
When it's $2.5 million, who cares?
Yeah.
But
can't you tack dummy years onto that or something? I don't know. Hey,
So I
made a
don't
good
know.
point. One guy I was a little bit questioning, and it was you, John, who made a very good point about it, was Mekhi Becton. The market was not, I don't think, what he hoped it would be. He got a 2-year deal for not a huge amount of money. And I was thinking, they could have done that. But you made the good point that you can't have an offensive line where everybody is getting paid. Yeah. Even Becton, the money Becton got was substantial, even if it wasn't,
$10 million.
The market,
extraordinary. Yeah. You got to have somebody on that offensive line on a rookie deal or a vet minimum deal. You can't have 5, top.
Yeah, and I like their plan because if you're playing next to Lane Johnson and in between Cam Jurgens, you're probably going to be okay. Whoever you put out there.
Yeah, and they keep rotating that position. Yeah. They change that position almost every year for one reason or another.
Yeah.
I think you're about to see that on the defensive side too, next to Carter, right? They're not going to play 2 defensive tackles. Maybe they will with Davis, but they're not going to pay everybody up on that D line, $15 million or more. It's just not going to happen.
Now, you mentioned something about youth, and they are a very young team, and we just saw 2 guys walk out the door, and I know you were here for Brandon's entire career, basically. Yeah. I mean, boy, you don't see too many people who are just written off and make the kind of comeback, especially in this town, which
I have never seen it in Philly.
Yeah.
I've never seen, I mean, it's hard to remember now, but the narrative was so entrenched by like 2015 when he really started to play well and get, the majority of the snaps and things like that. It was like written in stone that they had screwed up, that Earl Thomas should have been the pick, and that this guy, he's sort of okay, but he's not really, they kind of screwed that up. And then he became, over the next 3 years, the guy that basically, along with Nick Foles, won the Super Bowl. And from that point on, I started noticing after he made that play against Brady in the Super Bowl, it really plugged me into how often he would make the crucial play at the crucial time in a game. He never had unworldly sack numbers or great stats, but they would need something to happen, and Brandon Graham would make it happen. And that's, to me, that's as high a praise as you can give any player.
Yeah. You know what I always say, Les, and you remember the days of the conference call. At some point when opposing coaches had to have conference calls, now they eliminated them as they eliminate everything, but they had to talk to us every week. And whenever it was an offensive coach, they would start with 91 and 55 or 55 and 91. That's all they were concerned with when it came to the Eagles, blocking Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. And that's where it all started when they were doing their game planning. And I heard it week after week after week. And I don't know, at some point, you just started to figure out this guy's really good. But I think because he didn't have those big sack numbers, I think everybody said, he's okay. But everything is so hyper-focused on sacks. And this was one of the best two-way defensemen. He could set the edge. He could play the run. He could move inside if they needed him. There were a few years they didn't have that great interior pass rush. They'd move him inside. He'd rush from there.
Well, when they played the 3-4, everybody talks about those Chip Kelly years and how Chip was not high on Brandon as he, Chip had disaster.
Travis Long. You remember Travis Long.
I do. And, it was ridiculous. And that's what everybody focuses on. But the other part of that story is that for 3 seasons, Brandon played outside linebacker in a 3-4, and he played it very well. He was good at that. It wasn't his best. I mean, he was better as a down lineman, but he did that he was very solid in that role. And to me, the Brady play kind of epitomizes Brandon Graham. If you ever go back, I mean, obviously everybody goes back and watches it. You see the still photos, even if you don't watch the video. But if you watch the video, he's being blocked. I mean, it's not like he's around the guy and in Brady's lap right away. He's being blocked, and he fights through the block and lunges. And they hadn't sacked Brady, hadn't hit Brady the entire game. There's 2 minutes left. And he gets his hand up there and gets the ball, and that's to me, that's Brandon Graham.
It's a cliche play, but it really works for BJ.
58 minutes into a game where he had not gotten, a lot of people would have just gotten discouraged, or just gotten, frustrated. But
I think Brady threw for what, 505?
505, and they ran for 5 yards a carry. I mean, the Eagles defense didn't stop a damn.
Yeah, Jim Schwartz is still pissed about that game, and he won the Super Bowl.
It was horrible. It was just horrible defensively. Great offensively, horrible defensively.
Yeah, I bring up Schwartz. Boy, those defensive linemen. Brandon brought it up at his press. They love Jim Schwartz, man. Cut Fletcher. They love Jim Schwartz.
I think he's a good defensive coordinator. They had horrible talent on the back end, pretty much.
Well, that's
and linebacking. That year the linebacking was sort of okay. It wasn't anywhere close to what they got from Bond.
No.
This year,
it's funny. Jordan Hicks got hurt that year.
Yeah,
and Nigel Bradham kind of stepped up.
And Kendricks, who had been kind of
Michael
pushed to the side, came up in the playoffs and played well. Sort of like we were talking about Oren Burks. But it was, that defense wasn't anywhere close to what they had this year.
No doubt, Brandon Graham is an amazing player, and my favorite part about him is that he's an amazing person. These people athletes are humans. I think sometimes people forget that. So it's always good to humanize him. And I think
is he your favorite Eagle to cover? It's apropos. Yeah, I mean,
he would have to be. I've had some others over the years that I've really enjoyed, but he's got he outlasted them all,
Well, that's true. He outlasted everybody.
Yeah, infectious personality. Les, I want to ask you about something here. You brought up a good point about kind of, walking a thin line of like do you get cheaper, or did you make some decisions maybe you didn't need to make? You brought up C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I thought that was a good one. Well, how about Dallas Goedert? He's a guy that's out there right now. He's being floated around. Could trade him, could cut him. Do they extend him? No, not much guaranteed money left moving forward. I don't want to muddy the question with my thoughts. Where are you on Dallas Goedert? What would you do if you were the Eagles on Goedert moving forward?
I would probably extend him. I understand a little bit their unease in that I don't think when they got rid of Zach Ertz, their expectations for Dallas Goedert were, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. For a couple reasons, that has never happened. One would be injuries. Dallas always misses at least a few games every year, sometimes more than a few games. Mm-hmm. The other is, for some reason, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a tight end guy. I don't know why, but he doesn't seem to really look at the tight end as much as he could. I'm not sure if anybody you put in that role is going to be that prolific. I mean, you have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith. That makes sense. And, of course, you're now a run-based offense.
Yeah.
So the tight end isn't going to have Travis Kelce or George Kittle numbers ever here. Do you pay money for a guy to not be Travis Kelce or George Kittle? I don't know. But I do think, A, Goedert is still very, very capable. B, he's an excellent blocker in this run-based offense. And, I don't see why you wouldn't extend him a year or two if that's amenable to him. I don't know what he thinks about his.
I think that's probably your hurdle, right?
Or his role.
Yeah, that's my perception there is Dallas probably thinks that this is his last chance to get big guaranteed money because he's, post 30. So
are there that many teams that are going to I mean, this injury thing is kryptonite to teams.
That's true. That's true.
He's an over 30 guy who gets hurt a lot. I guess if there might be a bad, poorly run team that's stupid enough to throw a 5-year big money contract at somebody.
Not 5, but at 2 years, that's significant money. Like, I don't think the Eagles would go 2 years at significant money. I think they might go, how they do it less. They guarantee this year's contract because the guaranteed money's up. So they'll guarantee this year and then kick in maybe $3-4 million next year. There's probably somebody that'll give him 2 full years.
Yeah, it just depends on whether you whether that situation. He has made a lot of money.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
This is a loser's argument, I know, because nobody ever thinks of it this way. But he's made a lot of money, making a little bit more to go somewhere that might not be even close to as competitive as the Eagles are.
It all factors in
here to this point. If it were me, I don't know that I'd be excited about that. But I know I've seen it so many. I saw it the first time with Brian Dawkins. None of us thought Brian Dawkins would leave that year. He talked all season. That was back in the days when the media actually actually worked in the actual NovaCare Center instead of an auxiliary building.
Wow. Yeah.
And we would run into Doc, in the hallway or something, and we would ask him, hey, your contract's up. What do you think will happen? He thought he'd be back. I mean, he's not a guy to lie to you. He thought he'd be back. He was thinking, I'm not going to break the bank with this deal. Well, his agent had other ideas. Yeah. Agents have to compete in their field. They're recruiting players and being recruited against by other agents who look at the deals that they've negotiated and an agent will say, look, he only got so-and-so, such and such, And Doc's agent knew he could get him a good bit more money at that time under the 2009 definition of what money was, more than the Eagles were going to commit. And he did it, and he sent him to Denver, and the Eagles were left, we didn't think anybody was going to do that. And, a lot of people in the Delaware Valley, Brian Dawkins was and is an icon. Didn't think Doc would do that, but he sure did. And
it's very rare where players are going to take significantly less money. No, and I can't blame them. I mean, teams are going to move on quickly. You have to. You have a very short shelf life to make a lot of money. So I get it from the. I never criticized players, even Hassan Reddick. It didn't work out for him. After the 2022 season, I think that's when he had his highest leverage and probably should have pushed it more.
Right.
But so I never blame the player from that perspective when he goes like Milton and Josh and they go get money. They probably would rather be here, but it's just a realistic part of the business.
I don't even think did the Eagles make an effort to re-sign Josh Sweat?
No, I think they knew where it was going.
When he hired Drew Rosenhaus during the season,
I said,
it's not so much that the Eagles don't do deals with Drew Rosenhaus. They certainly do. But you change agents a few months before hitting free agency, obviously,
for a reason.
That's what you're thinking is going to happen, regardless of who you hire. And, that I think he was gone in the middle of the season, and he knew that.
Yeah. Well, I think he was gone the minute the Eagles made him take a pay cut to come back. That's something that's tough to get over the hump. But,
and that's something fans don't ever talk about is the frequency with which teams do this.
Yeah.
And that's something when I first started covering the Eagles, I had no idea because I covered hockey before that, and nobody ever did that in hockey. Nobody ever asked for money back.
Yeah. They don't make money. They don't make money like this in hockey, man.
Yeah. But I remember Hollis Thomas, maybe a year after the Super Bowl 39, they just made him, he had gotten hurt. And they just said, hey, you want to go out and find a deal somewhere, or you want to play for half of what you were making? And he was like, oh, well, what am I going to do? And he wasn't in a position to go out and find a deal somewhere. He was a little bit older and he had been hurt and he had to take it, and it was painful for him because he wasn't making $20 million a year or anything like that. But they will do that. Yeah.
Those
were the Joe Banner years. They just
Joe was ruthless.
Like, we've got the advantage on you. You can. Yeah.
I think Howie's a little bit more political than Joe.
Yes, he is. Worries a little bit more about what the locker room thinks.
Yeah, the perception.
I mean, there were times when their culture suffered from their approach.
Oh, yeah. I mean, during the chip day, the whole Deshaun LaShawn thing, they built a whole podcast around ripping Chip Kelly for a while. The culture has gotten to a point where I do think they take it very seriously. Now, they'll still hardline it. It's interesting because I bring up Hassan. They hardlined it with Hassan. But they try to not get to that last year as much as possible and try to extend players early that they think are foundational pieces. And they've done it time and time again. And I think that's been one of their huge advantages. But that's sort of been the demarcation line. You can see it, Les. It's like, all right, we think these guys, Zach Bond, are foundational players. And Milton, Josh, maybe Dallas, CJ.
Landon Dickerson was a guy that they gave.
Landon Dickerson's on the foundational. Devontae, AJ, Jalen, on and on. Lane Johnson, on and on and on. And then you see the line and everybody below the line. I've argued they had too many good players, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what was apparent. It didn't really, we talked a lot about how good the roster was, but until those final two games, the 55-23 in the NFC Championship game and the 40-6 lead in the Super Bowl, I didn't quite understand. Because they didn't always play to that level, frankly.
Absolutely.
Remember the season?
No. Yeah, you're right, for sure.
If they'd have played like that all year, I think we would have understood. But yeah, this was by far the most talented Eagles team ever, and one of the more talented Super Bowl winning teams.
Yeah, those two games immortalized this team, Les.
Yeah,
those two games.
It was incredible. I mean, I was having dinner a couple nights ago with Paul Domowich, my wife, and me, and Damo's wife, and I said to Damo, "Yeah, did you ever think all those years?" Because Damo covered the Eagles from the mid '80s.
Yeah.
You know, did you ever think you would be sitting there watching the Eagles up 40-6 in the Super Bowl ever against anybody?
No. I mean, I was there watching the game, and the stat that blew me away, Les, blew me away. The one thing was defense. 9 consecutive drives. Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid did not pass midfield for 9 consecutive drives. That was the first time the entire year in the NFL that a team did not pass the 50 in 9 consecutive drives in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And we blew up the defense. Why does that not work? Why does that not sound right to me? You know,
that's the NFL. You pay the offense, and hey, Vic will figure it out.
The defense throttles Mahomes and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, and half the defense walks out the door, and the whole offense is impact.
Damo, you bring up Damo. Damo would appreciate this, Les. You've been around sports, different sports, government a long time. I don't know from your perception. My perception is when somebody has this big reputation, they almost invariably never live up to it because people make them out to be almost mythical creatures.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio was undersold.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of, I remember very well the conversation last offseason, which was, and Jimmy Kempski did a good job of coming up with all this. The Fangio defenses in 2023, the defenses run by his acolytes, they were all bad.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk that the Fangio system, which had been dominating the league for a while, was kind of, that maybe that was like yesterday's news, that it wasn't really, that the offenses had kind of like the West Coast offense, it was no longer something new and different and unstoppable. It was, it had gone, the other side of the ball had evolved. And that the teaching that went on, the improvement of some of these players was just phenomenal.
To me, that's what it is, Les. It's the teaching. It's not the scheme. It's the teaching of the scheme. But Vic said, and we all did a double take in it was in training camp last year when he was talking about sort of all his acolytes, whether he trained them or they just copied him from afar. And he was like, no, he doesn't tell them everything.
Yeah.
he doesn't
give them the keys to the kingdom. Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting, but
I think Belichick was a little bit like that too. I think that was one of the reasons that his acolytes never, one of the many reasons that his acolytes never equaled him. I don't think he ever really imparted everything that he had to them.
Yeah. At Les Bowen, make sure you follow Les on X platform there, PHLY _sports. You can read him there. He's doing a tremendous job. One of the greatest of all time, in my estimation. Love catching up with Les Bowen.
Well, thank you.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah.
Les, great having you on, man. We appreciate it so much, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, brother?
I hope so. Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend.
Yeah,
thanks, Les.
Too. Thanks, Les. There's Les Bowen joining the show here on JAKIB Sports. We appreciate him here on this special Friday edition of Birds 365. Try to make good takeaways there from Les. I love talking to him because he has a good way to encapsulate or discuss a wide range of topics in a very clear way. But interesting takeaways from him. And then we kind of recap the season, and I'm like, boy, our are they making the right moves with blowing up this defense? And I was watching, I told you I watched the mic'd up the other night of the Eagles, and I'm like, this defense was insane. I mean, even in the Super Bowl, we could build the 17-0 lead because of the defense, not because of the offense.
Not only in this era to be as dominant as they were defensively, when everything is shifted towards the offense. Let's be honest. We talk about it all the time. That's why NFL teams value offense more. Part of it is obviously quarterback is the most important player. That's the most obvious reason. But, the league wants offense. And most people are entertained by a bunch of points. So that's always has been their philosophy. And when there's a rule change, it almost inevitably helps the offense. And so in this era, you can go back to the 70s. There was a lot of great defenses. And the old adage back then was, good defense beats good offense. I think it's the exact opposite today. For the most part. And the Eagles were able to overcome. The Eagles won the Super Bowl in such a strange way. They don't throw the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They ran for 2,500 yards. They played good defense. It was almost like 1970s football in this era, which is amazing. But even after the Eagles saw it, and they might be, as Les pointed out, you can make an argument for Kansas City, but they might be the smartest organization in the NFL. And even after what they went through and what they saw, they still want to pay the offense. Because long term, now it's going to change a little bit with Jalen Carter, maybe Nolan Smith, maybe Jordan Davis, maybe Quinyon Mitchell, maybe Cooper DeJean, and it evens out. But you start to wonder, who are they not going to pay? Lane's going to retire at some point, but it's not like they don't want to find a right tackle. They pay Jordan Mailata. They're going to pay Cam Jurgens. They pay Landon Dickerson. They pay Saquon. They pay AJ. They pay Devontae. They pay Dallas. We'll see if that continues. They pay everybody on offense. There's going to have to be some difficult decisions.
People aren't ready for those conversations yet, John. You talk about some conversations people aren't ready for. They are not ready for the conversations that will come when the
that's where you got it. That's where the draft becomes so important because you got to like the next right tackle. You got to repopulate that in the draft, probably. And you'll have that 3-4 year window where you're not paying major money, but your ultimate goal is to pay them major money because that means they're really good.
We'll see what they end up doing. Johnny Mac, great week of shows. We hit the draft. We got to get more into the draft. That's my fault. We're going to get more into the draft next week. We got to dive through what we did a good job today. I think laying out, maybe potential plans and potential moves the Eagles could make in the NFL draft. Obviously, Les Bowen was really good today. We'll see what they do. But John, your final thoughts on this Football Friday edition of Birds 365, brother?
Maybe you'll see a trickle or two. I think, the Eagles are going to be very cognizant of not affecting the compensatory picks. So I don't think you're going to see any, if you see any, and I don't want to call them big money, but I'm talking about 1 year, $7-8 million deals. That's probably not going to come until after it doesn't affect the compensatory picks. So we might be heading into that phase of the offseason. Can always be a 1 year, $2 million player, but that's not going to, move the needle that much. Justin Simmons is a guy you're probably going to have to wait for, is what I'm saying, because he's going to get some money, not break the bank, but and he might be willing to wait.
I'm not as in on Justin Simmons as a lot of Eagles fans are.
Well, you shouldn't be. I mean,
I should or shouldn't be.
Shouldn't, big name.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. I don't even think he was that good last year, was he? He didn't great out.
He was okay. He wasn't, they had Jesse Bates. So he's not Jesse Bates.
And what's he going to cost? We just got rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson for $8.5 million. What's he going to cost?
1 year, $7 million, somewhere around.
Yeah, I don't like that. You save $1.5 million to get an older guy who was worse last year?
Well, forget about it. There's a lot of things with CJ. CJ's gone. Turn the page.
I'm just saying. That's all. I mean, I don't look at Justin Simmons as like, oh, we'll make sure we go get him. If we go get him, we'll.
Oh no, it's more of again, they want Sidney Brown to seize the job, but they don't want to hand it to him. And they got to bring some. It might be Justin Blackman. It might be a lesser name. Defensive tackle, same type of thing. They need to bring in somebody to probably draft-proof the roster.
I like Walter Nolan, baby.
Well, they're definitely going to draft somebody up front, but I meant even before that, they want some kind of insurance policy like like they've done at so many other positions. Harrison Bryant's going to be an all-pro, but the rest of the guys, the A.J. Dillons, of the contracts we know or have somewhat, Bryant got $2 million, so that's tremendous for a first-team All-Pro. That's even better than Zach Bond. To get him at 1 year, $2 million. Uche 1 year, $1.92 million. Charlie Hewlett's, obviously long snapper, 1.42. Adoree got 1.75 supposedly, and Aziz got 4, but we haven't seen the official details of that. The other guys, A.J. Dillon, Patrick Johnson, Avery Williams, Kylan Granson, the other all-pro tight end they signed. We don't even know, but I'm guessing they're close to the veteran minimum as well.
We'll see what happens as it unfolds. Johnny Mac, great week of shows, brother, here on Birds 365. It's always a great week when you guys are here with us on JAKIB Sports. We appreciate all the people for listening, all the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the comments, the podcast. The podcast listeners have been killing it, Johnny Mac, listening into the podcast like crazy. So if you like podcasts and you're here listening right now, make sure you go subscribe to Birds 365 on podcast, because if you're ever in the car or you can't watch on YouTube, you can always tune up. I've been posting our segments as well as the full show. So you guys can always go and check that out as well on the podcast. Make sure you guys leave a review over there. But Johnny Mac, great week of shows, brother. Enjoy your weekend. We maybe have to do a Birds football 24/7. I doubt it. But if we did, I'll talk to you then. If not, Monday morning, brother, I'll catch you then. Thank you, Johnny Mac.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the weekend.
All right. Good stuff. Johnny Mac checking in on Birds 365. Great show today. Johnny Mac was on fire. Les Bowen was on fire. My pronunciation has been corrected. Thank you, Joey Funny Bits, or whatever your name was in the chat. I appreciate you, brother. Don't worry. I didn't take it personal. I don't want to call someone by the wrong name. I don't know. I think part of me was like, less the name, because it's like, less is technically a negative word, right? Wouldn't that be a negative word? Les Bowen. And be like, no, I don't want less Bowen. I want more Bowen. So I called them Les. I don't know. I was wrong. It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate all you guys being here, though. It is giveaway time, and I don't have all day. All right? So I can't do it like I normally do it with Zander time going to 11, 11:30, 12, 1. We can't do that today. So we're going to have one giveaway today. All right, only one. And I'm going to modify a little bit of the way we do it moving forward. Today we'll do it per usual. So if you're a member and you're in here, congrats. We'll do a giveaway today. Actually, I'll do 2 giveaways today. I'll do one regular member, and I'll do a legend giveaway. Okay, so we'll do that right now. So I don't have. Let me pull out the box. All right, look at this. Look at this box of shit, everybody. I got a mod. Let me put this camera over this way a little bit. You can see the box of Eagles merch is here. All right. Look, you got the 5, 6 Super Bowl hat. By the way, I might keep this hat. I might keep it, or I'm keeping one of these. So I have 6 hats here. I'm probably going to give away 5, and then these are all jerseys or shirts. All right, Super Bowl champs, another Super Bowl champs, all Super Bowl champs. All right, so plenty of merchandise, all Super Bowl branded. All right, all Super Bowl branded. What do you think? Do I keep this one? You guys tell me. You guys tell me. Which one should I keep? You know, I'm kind of thinking I keep this one because look, there's a black Eagle hat. Here's the black NFC Championship hat. Like, I got 2 fresh black Eagles hats. Maybe I keep the green. I don't have a classic green. Or maybe I give it away to the people. Maybe I give it away to the people. All right? Keep whatever you want. That wasn't the point. Billy Don says, you ain't keeping that black one, bitch. That's mine. You need the black Super Bowl to top off the black ones. Ooh, Gubby, good point. Keep the black. See, you got Mike doesn't like the pink, so he's like, keep the black. See, I like pink. Look, where am I? Actually, wait, look. I like pink. Look, I just got this pair of shoes. What do you guys like better? See, I got these Mocha Jordans, and I put this lace in, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try pink. And I feel like the pink looks sick. So I'm kind of a pink guy. I mean, I'm not afraid to wear pink. I'm not afraid to wear pink. Sue says she hates pink. Come on, this is fire. Even got the pink on the back. Come on, man. Daz, my girlfriend would love those pink laces. I don't give a shit what your girlfriend would like, bitch. All right? I'm going to do me. I'm going to do me. Real men can rock pink. I like it. It's not pink, it's salmon. See, I don't have those issues. I don't really care what somebody has to say about what I wear. I like purple. I like pink. I like blue. I have like 30 blue Kangos, legitimately, and they're all different shades of blue. Look. Here's just 3 right here. And I have 2 more in my bag over there. I got like 40 shades of blue Kangos. A lot of blue Kangos. A lot of blue Kangos. All right, here we go. Yeah, deep purple's fire. Twiz, I'm with you. That's royalty, baby. All right. Jacob, aka Pinky. Oh, you okay? Are you soft, D-Money? D-Money, don't be soft on me. All right. We have now entered Zander time. Woo! I love Zander. I miss Zander time. Don't you guys miss Zander time? Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Abe said, I would take that pink from you, but it looked good. Yeah, Abe, I saw you like the Kango baseball hat yesterday, didn't you? I think these shoes look sick with the pink laces. You guys are crazy, bro. Pink with brown. That's nice. That's a good look. It's a good look. That's a good look. What's up, Big Z? Tony, what's up, my dude? Xander Zone. You know, did I ever tell you the story of my uncle? He used to call me Xander Zone. Welcome to the Xander Zone, he used to say. You know, my uncle's a savage. He built his entire house with his hands, all right? Built his entire house with his hands, log cabin up in upstate New York. Total legend. For my Corvette, Tony, my Corvette guy in the chat, he builds Corvettes. He buys old C1s, C2s, C3s, modifies them up. I'm telling you, this guy is the best with cars I've ever seen anybody in my life. He brought in a 200,000 mile Toyota Tacoma that he owned. He drove it from start, bought it brand new, and they gave him massive money for it because the sales rep opened the door and is like, dude, there's 200,000 miles in this car. I can lick the door wells. That's how clean he keeps his shit. He is so particular. Incredible. But he used to he had a thing in his garage that said, welcome to the Xander Zone. I love that. It's a good memory there. All right. Okay, kids, gather around for a story. David, you're going to have to get used to it, David. All right? You got to get used to it. Daz says Dakotas are worth money no matter the miles. Yeah, not the new ones, though, Daz. I'm not in on these new Toyotas. They're breaking down, new engines, new motors, everything. All right? Everything. Rare to find that still. I'm kind of similar. You should see my truck. My truck is clean. I keep my truck clean. So I'm going to get top dollar when I trade that thing in. Although, we joked about this. I told you guys I wanted to get a new truck, and I want to wrap it with JAKIB. So if you guys see me in Philly, you'll know you see me. I want to get a truck, and I want to wrap it fully. Like, I want massive JAKIB logos, follow Zander Krause. I want all of it. All right? Yo, Fleming is hilarious. He says, I can't stay until 11:30 as we talk about licking doorknobs. Twiz, don't worry. I use that shit, but I keep it nice, bro. I keep it nice. I like nice stuff, Twiz. I'm not getting in my truck and having dirt all over my screens and shit. Stop that. It's not a razor, Twiz. It's not a razor. All right, here we go. So the way I'm going to do the winners is if you win, you get to pick, because I have so many sizes. Like, I legitimately can't go through all. I can't go through all these. All right. I have so many sizes. I got every size. I know we have smalls, mediums. Where's extra small Ryan? I haven't seen him in a little bit. I got 2X, 3X. I think I might even have a 4X. Here's an XL, large. Let's see. I like this one. This is the one that says, got the W. They're wearing this at the parade. A large. I got every size though. So, and I have a lot of stuff here. Large, 2XL, medium. Oh, here's a cool shirt. Super Bowl LIX champions. 2XL. All right, so we got. Oh, this one's sick. It's got the signature of every player. This is probably going to go early. This is one of the better shirts. This is an XL. I have it in a small. So if you're a woman or a smaller dude, all right. If you're a smaller dude, all right. All right, let me move these out of here. All right, I'll take them out too if you want. They're just easy to ship if I keep them in here, I can load them up, ship them out easy. All right. What I'm going to do for our winner today is fire up the ticker. The ticker's coming. Don't worry. And no, I haven't changed tickers. All right. You guys are funny. Zander Time. We always get the best comments on Zander Time. I'm sure it does. Twiz, you like the kind of guy that everything is nasty. Come on, Twiz. Clean your shit. Take care of your shit. No, I'm not buying no damn Cybertruck, Joe. I do not like that thing. Make car stickers, Zander. I'll promote JAKIB. I think I have some. Where the hell did they go? I had some. What I should do is send them out in every giveaway. But instead you get Zander notes. Maybe the Z notes got to go. No, I'm just kidding. You guys love my Z notes. Even the people who say they don't love the Z note. Remember Prince? Where's Prince? Is he in here? Remember Prince? I don't want a Z note. Prince loves his Z note. Prince's Z note is hung up in his house. All right. Prince's Z note is hung up in his house. Fleming, you got a Z note, didn't you? We need the Big Z mock draft. Oh, I'll do that. I'll do a mock. I'm probably not doing like every week though. I'll do like one or two. Yeah, I'm not a sticker on my car guy either. Z notes are thoughtful. It makes it mean more. Yeah, yo, Jason, and it's funny because when you won the giveaway, I wasn't doing Z notes yet. See, Bird Gang Girl won a couple months ago. She still has hers on her fridge. Look at that. JAKIB Sports magnets for the car. I like that. That's a good one. I could do that. Philly Don still got his Z note. Everybody's still got their Z note. All right. See, this is why in life, everybody, you don't let haters get you off your rhythm. All right. Yo, Mad Bird, I saw your DM. I forgot to respond to you. Need some JAKIB gym gear. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm working on like a whole new merch setup. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to get, a more consistent flow of new designs. For example, they win a Super Bowl and we have new championship merch. Saquon jumps over somebody, we get some merch up. I want to do more like that, but it's just hard to do. I don't have enough bodies right now. I don't have enough manpower. I need to duplicate me. Does anybody have a robot that I can make two of me? I need like a another set of hands, but I don't need just any hands. I need hands that work. All right. Yeah, KCA, submit some, bro. Email me. I always look at all my emails. I saw I saw your email last night. That's actually where I saw the Smitty interview. That's where I saw the Smitty interview. JAKIB rally towels. Z-note hanging on my wall with my JAKIB hat. Look at that. The world ain't ready for 2 Zanders. Wilfredo, then they'll really get dusted on the court. All right, Wilfredo. You're right, though. The world's not ready, bro. The world can barely handle one of me. All right? The world can barely handle one of me. Let me turn this back. Where's Bob Brown? Is Bob Brown in here? I think Bob Brown's on my shit list. Bob, you might be on my shit list right now. I don't know why, but you are. Let me fix this stupid-ass camera. This thing's driving me crazy. It's all crooked. What the hell? All right, here we go. It's 10:19. Here we go. We got 2 giveaways in 15 minutes tops. Can we do it? You tell me. Probably not, because I haven't pulled the member list. I haven't. When's the last time I even opened up this damn picker? Month? We need an Excel sheet of who is on the shit list. No, I'm going to order the whiteboard and put it right here so you guys can see it. All right? Yeah, we need some quarter zips for sure. Now, Bob's not on my shit list. I'm just messing with him. I don't know where for. Are you talking about the guy yesterday? I don't even know. That guy's a dumbass. He never comments good stuff. No, Wayne. Wayne, what are you bitching about? You won something, didn't you? Wayne, that picker is your friend. All right? That picker is your friend. Wasn't some fool building you an app? Yeah, Curtis did. It didn't work on Mac. And then, everybody, a bunch of empty promises, broed. A bunch of empty promises. Bob Brown says, I'm here. Bob, don't worry. You're not on my actual shit list. There's like the real shit list, and then there's like the funny shit list. Like, who's on my shit? Actually, not my shit list, but the bad take list. Where is he? Is he in here still? Eagle Nest, where are you? You still here? Where's Eagle Nest? Eagle Nest was in here. He's like, in 2025, we're going to draft this position, this position, this position. In 26, we're going to draft this position, this position, this position. In 27, we're going to draft this position, this position, this position. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Drafting in 2027. Come on, man. Come on. No, seriously. Yeah, where's Jack Straw? Is Jack Straw in here? Jack, I've been praying for you, but are you in here? I got to talk to you about something. Jack Straw, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to speak for him, but I believe he's in the weed business. He's in the marijuana business. So we need to get some cilioized edibles. What do you guys think? It's the perfect name. Let's launch a JAKIB edible, all right, for those who partake in marijuana. All right, I'm sure not all of you do, but a lot of our chat seems to. All right. Beer sleeves is a good idea. I'm sure we have a bunch of drinkers. Let's get the edibles going. And let's call them cilioized. So when you take them, you become cilioized, which is another word for getting stoned. You're already distracted. Yo, Philly Don, shut up, Don. Look. Don, this isn't leaving the studio. And Sasha, I still got your note right here. Still in the stew. Still in the stew. It's standing up right there. All right, here we go. No, you're not the king of shit takes. You got some good takes, Eagle Nest. I was just laughing at you drafting in 2027. I was cracking up, honestly. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, what is this dude doing? Talking about drafting in 2027. It cost $100K to get a farm with your own strain, processing, and packaging. All right, let's do it. Can we launch a little GoFundMe? I'll raise $100,000 from everybody in the chat. Depending on how much you give, you'll get a percentage of the marijuana business, and we'll do it. I'll do it. You want to talk business? I'll talk business about anything. All right. You got ways that we can make some cash? Let's do it. Let's do it. 100K is low ball. I was gonna say that didn't sound good, bro. Sounded low. Sounded real low. 100K doesn't buy shit. This is crazy. I knew Zander was an idiot. He's promoting drugs and alcohol. Kids are watching, fool. Man, if somebody's kids are watching me, then their parents can be their parents. I'm not a parent, bro. I'm not here to raise kids. All right. I'm here to entertain and talk about football with the great people of JAKIB Nation. Come on, Dick Track. Come on, man. Come on. Robert B says, what's your perspective of the draft? Who do you really want, Zander? I like Walter Nolan, honestly. I'm a big Walter Nolan fan. I just think he fits. I think he's going to be – if you got him on a rookie deal next to Jalen Carter, I think you would terrorize teams on that defensive line for years to come. And I think you could do it without even having dominant edge rushers. So I like him a lot, but I don't know, man. I don't profess to be a draft expert. I really don't. I don't know what kids are going to pan out, who is not. I don't profess to know more than everybody else. I like players. I like certain prospects. Some guys excite me more than other guys when it comes to, potential and their fit with the Eagles and stuff like that. But, I like to let the process play out. I hope everybody pans out. It's obviously not going to work like that, but, whoever the Eagles pick up, I'm sure that Howie and the team have done their due diligence on him. All right. All right, let's do this. I got to get this picker up. You guys all distracted me. Philly Don, I blame you. All right, I blame you, Philly Don. It's your fault. You might not think it's your fault, but it is your fault. Random name winner. All right, here we go. I got it up. Oh, man, I didn't miss this stupid thing. This stupid name picker. Who became a member? We didn't get one new member today? All right. I'm canceling the giveaway. We didn't get one new member today. I'm not asking for a legend. How about one new member? Slacker, 100K is a foil line climb. Better not talk about that or else what's his name's going to cry. Look at Big Sales. Checking in. Dick Track, the Mina Kimes of JAKIB, a liberal snowflake. Damn, Mina Kimes catching some strays on the show today. What's up, Big Sills? If we don't get one new gray, or if one gray doesn't convert, I might cancel this and do it on Cilio's show until we pick up a new member. This is kind of, you want me to give two things away today in the middle of the offseason? The money doesn't flow in this like in the offseason like it does during the season. We're not going to get one new green. Cancel it, see? No, I'm not going to cancel it. I got to do at least one, but I might just do a legend, Now, James Jones, I thought wasn't a gray. James Jones won a stupid Commanders jersey I had to buy it from fucking Fanatics, shipped it right to his door. Dumbass. I still get email. I've unsubscribed 42 times from the damn Commanders emails. I still get it. Oh, we got a new merch line, a new hat. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Team stinks. Team is good. By the way, you want a bold prediction for next season on Zander Time today? Here's a bold prediction for next year on Zander Time. The Washington Commanders take a significant step backwards from what they were last year. All right? They are not going to be that good again. They're not. I like Jaden Daniels. Let's see him come back to earth a little bit. All right? I don't think 7 wins. I think they're going to be a good team. They're not going to be a real contender next year. All right? I'm doing the legend giveaway first. And here's what I'm doing. If you win a regular giveaway, it's a t-shirt, a boat. I'll package it up, ship it to you. A legend giveaway today, I'm going to do a hat with a t-shirt. A hat with a t-shirt. So if you win, you could opt for this beautiful green Eagles hat. Brand new. $9.70. Stretch snap. You can see the back. It's got the Eagles logo. The tags are still on it. And on the side, it's got this beautiful LIX Super Bowl Champions logo. So you could pick that one, or I will make this one available for a legend member. So if a legend member wants to pick up, this is the parade hat with the pink writing, which I think is badass. Got an NFL patch on the back. It's got the Eagles logo on the side. See, the stickers are all still on there. It's got a little LIX patch right here, which is super cool. That's a patch, not a sticker. And you can see your tags are still on there. All right. So, or you could pick this, and then you can pick a shirt as well. Right now, I'm going legends first. I haven't seen a new member, so I'm not convinced to do another. I'm not convinced to do something outside of my legends. Okay. Now I should be, but I'm not. Maybe you can win me over. I can be bought. Okay. I can be bought. I can be purchased. I can be purchased. We have 300 and no, that I knew that was going to happen. Josh B. Gifts won. I almost said gifts don't count. I almost said gifts don't count because Josh B. is one of our great supporters on JAKIB. Okay. And I knew he was going to do this. Somebody like Josh, I knew was going to do this. How about a Greg gets off their damn ass and does something if they want to win? If they don't want to win, that's fine. Goodbye. See you next time. Let me go open this chat up. Who got the gifted membership? Crispy? Looks like Crispy got the gift. It's a celebration. Jeff Bonehead. All right, it's 10:30. We're now down to 5 minutes left. We're now down to 5 minutes left for a couple of giveaways. Oh, Wilfredo! Another one. Xander's the Bronny James of JAKIB. His dad carries him. Good, A-Track. Good. You know, you try and make me feel like shit that I work with my dad. I don't. I love it. I love it. And if he's carrying it, then guess what? That means you're still clicking on JAKIB. It means you're still clicking on JAKIB. I don't give a shit if you like me, if you like Sills, if you like John, if you hate me, if you hate Sills, if you hate John. But as long as you keep clicking, as long as you keep watching, all right? Dick Train. Let's pull up this member list. Shout out to JD3, a legend. Shout out to Zach Lambert, a legend. Shout out to Eagle Nest, a legend. Who else do we got? Let me download this list. All right, here we go. Christmas coming early in JAKIB. Let's go. All right, here we go. We have 45 legend members, I think. No, wait, what do we have? 54. Wow, that's really good. We still have 54 legends. Excellent. You guys are crushing it. Appreciate all you guys. Crispy and who else got the gift? At the Helm Outdoors. Is that who won it? Is that who won it? Woo! Nothing's changed. Brian Fleming says 2 locks in life. Howie will trade in the draft, and I can take a 30-minute shit during Xander time. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Something women will never understand. Men's affinity to spend some time on the shitter. Oh, man, I'm funny. That is some funny shit right there. All right, here we go. Legend winner. Legend winner first. Shirt and a hat. I'm not going to do many of these because I don't have unlimited stuff to give away. So I'm not going to do a lot of giveaways where you get multiple things. I'm not going to. I'm telling you right now. I'm not doing that many of those. I'd like to have as many winners as possible, even if that means you just get a shirt. Even if that means you just get a shirt. Now, because 2 guys, yeah, I don't think it'll let me do that. All right, I don't think it lets me do that, Philly Don. I wish I did that, but I can't. All right, here we go. Here's my member list. All right, Apple Intelligence. I don't care. Apple Intelligence. Let me sort this list. Show sort. Sort. Current level. There we go. Boom. Oh, that's epic. Here's our legends. I'm going to thank all you guys. 54 legends. JD3, thank you, brother. I love you. Zach Lambert, thank you, brother. Eagle Nest, thank you. No Limit, thank you. Terry Hayes, thank you. Takeem, thank you. Sasha R, thank you. Sasha, got your notes still right here. I'm going to put that back. Boom. Caesar, Jason A-Team, Lucius the Show, Eagle Fan, Dakota Warren, Vulnerable Vitality, Vulnerable. I was watching Missouri last night. Did you guys lose that game? I went to bed. Oh my God. Where is Vulnerable Vitality? Vulnerable Vitality, where are you? If he's not here, I'm pissed. He's pissed. I'm pissed. This dude was telling me he was going to knock out Bama again in the tournament. Xander, what are those green shoes behind me? Those are Jordan 1. They're Jordan 1s, the high top ones. I don't love them, but they're worn to shit. Look at them. They're worn to shit. Actually, no, they're not worn to shit. They're not that bad. I feel like white laces in these would look cool. They're a little worn out. I like them because they're my Eagle shoes, though. They're my Eagles shoes. I don't have many shoes that are Eagles colored. I cannot believe Vulnerable Vitality's Missouri already lost in the opening round to Drake. I mean, oh my gosh. If that dude wants to talk shit again, he's going to have an uphill battle. Let me tell you something. Uphill battle for my guy, Vulnerable Vitality. All right, here we go. I got to go. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I have like legitimate stuff I got to get to here. Oh, no. Now they got accounts. I can make an account. Maybe it'll show me all my winners. All right, here we go. 54 legends. Tyler Braswell, Bob Brown. I hope Bob Brown wins this one. I know I put him on my shit list earlier today, but I do. I hope Bob Brown wins. Seth Shifley, TK Washington, Mad Dio, Mad Bird, Chester Parks, Rainy Boy, Birds and Beers, Brian Fleming, Sue Chick. Sue, love you. Thank you, Sue. Brian Fleming, you know I love you, brother. Appreciate you. Schmidt Degler, Howard Nolte, SB Ricky, Big C, JT Philly, Mike Berghorst. Mike, I met Mike at the parade. Derek Elmore, Philly Don, Jay Ronimu, Josh Bay, Dirty Air, Chris Albright. Whoa. These are legends. These are all legends. D.O. gives some membership. Wilfredo gives some membership. Josh B. gives some membership. Jason A-Team checks in with $10. Thank you, A-Team. Always a great show. Les Bowen is always nice to listen to. I need me a Super Bowl hat, my friend. This draft will be very interesting on how they will go. I don't see any big moves coming for Birds. I'm kind of with you, A-Team. A-Team, I hope you win, and then you can grab one of these Super Bowl hats. Or maybe you like the parade hat, and maybe you can rock pink. You know, I can rock pink. I can rock it. You don't got to ask me twice. I can rock any color. All right, I can rock any color. All right, here we go. Start. Here we go. One winner. Remember, you don't have to be present to win for my legends, okay? We have too many people. This is too much support to make you have to be here. So if it's a legend pick and you're not here, okay, congratulations. You're going to be the winner, and you're going to have 24 hours. Mike Berghorst, my guy. Good to see you in here, Mike. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you and your wife and your son are doing well. I met all three of you at the parade. Love all you guys. Hope you guys are doing great over there. All right. I know you drove from somewhere, Mike. Dang, I'm trying to remember where you drove from. You didn't drive from Detroit, did you, Mike? For the parade? I know you said you drove a long way. All right, let's do this. So our legend, and by the way, if you won earlier, Detroit, I think I was right. Mike, good to see you in here, my man. Hope you're doing good. I was right. See, Mike, I got a good memory with my people, bro. I knew it was Detroit. So if you've won in the past, take it and throw it out. You can win again. All right. It doesn't matter if you've won in the past. Anybody can win. Now, on this particular box of merch, I don't want too many repeat winners, but this is the first giveaway from that box. So anybody can win. Anybody can win. Also, Eagle Nest, I owe you, and I know this. All right? Don't think I've forgotten you, Eagle Nest. Eagle Nest is in Canada. I spent $40 to ship his jersey to Canada. I still have that jersey. Maybe I should give it away. It's still in the packaging. All right? Yeah, Josh B., I got you. Don't worry. I didn't forget about you, though. What's his name? Eagle Nest. Thank you, brother. I gotta do something for you. All right, here we go. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. You ready? Fire. I'm sending that jersey to Josh B. 3, 2, 1. Chad Whitaker. I love Chad. Wait, you guys remember Chad. You all know Chad. Don't act like you don't. You all know Chad. Don't act like you don't. Let me show you. Let me show you Chad. You guys remember Chad, I promise you. All right. Let me find the picture because Chad was the guy rocking the Stout U hoodie in the mountains. Let me find this picture. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Congrats on your pink hat. Yo, dickhead Rico. He can pick any color he wants. Jerk. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I can't find this picture. Chad, where is this picture? Let me go to my DMs. Might be there. I want to show this picture because it's one of my favorite pictures of somebody. Yes, here it is. Got it. Got him. Check this out. This picture is fire. This picture is fire. JAKIB Nation strong, baby. All right, first winner is in. Our first winner is in. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Dude, look at that. With the pit boss next to him. He's flexing in the Stout U hoodie, and he's overlooking the Rocky Mountains out in Colorado. That is epic right there. I mean, that is just dope. And it's just a sick picture. You can love me, you can hate me. It's a sick picture, admit it. It's a sick picture, admit it. Thank you, Chad. Let me DM Chad right now and tell him you won today's legend giveaway. Let's go. Super Bowl. Deshae, he's hiding his face in the mountains. How many warrants he got? Yo, that right there is hilarious. All right. Deshae, you must be from the streets, bro. That's why you thinking like that. I feel you, though. All right. Believe me, I feel you. All right. That's hilarious. Good stuff for Chad. Thank you, Chad. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for your great support. All right. That is not a small mountain, Slagger. I promise you that. That's not a small mountain. All right, here we go. Let's do one more giveaway. Okay. Chad's not on here right now. I'll work out with him what hat he wants. Okay. I'll work out with him what hat he wants. And, oh, Dio with another gift. See, I got to add these new guys in on the list. Let me go to the live chat. Dio with a gift there. All right. I got to remove all these people. Next winner. All right. Regular Super Bowl shirt winner. These are cool shirts. I'll show you some of the pictures of them. All right. And remove the legends. Let me pull up the list of names. Let me edit, undo, sort. Okay. Can you guys help me out? Who got gifted memberships after At the Helm Outdoors and Crispy? Who was gifted after this? 351 total members. Still pretty good. We've had a significant fall off, but still pretty good. Okay? 350 members. 2 more giveaways. Come on. No, Rich, I want to preserve. I want to be able to do them all year, all right, or all off season. I don't want to give away everything at once. Rich, it's the off season, brother. SC Birds fan. I saw he became a member. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bird Gang Girl. Bird Gang Girl. Appreciate that. Let's go. SC Birds fan 803. Okay. Added in. I thought there was one more that got gifted, and I didn't see who it was. Let me go and find it on YouTube. Give me a sec. Was it you, Darius, or are you lying? Are you playing with me? Might have been you, Darius. You might be playing with me. We're 10 minutes late. We are officially 10 minutes late. How'd this happen? Darius, I think you're on there already. I think it was Crow Server. That's a funny name. Or was it Edwin? It was Edwin. It was Edwin. I see it. Edwin _ located. Edwin _ All right. Jack Straw, that was my home rink for my high school, brother. The stadium in Haverford. That was my home rink for the freaking St. Joe's Prep Hawks. Come on, man. Come on. The stadium. I own the stadium. That's my rink, Jack. Can you check my name, Z? I'll check anybody's name. If you want me to check, let's be quick about this, though, all right? There's Sig Lord. The legendary Sig Lord is here. Who else needs their name checked? Mad Dio, I think I got them all. SC Birds fan, Edwin, and At the Helm. I think those are the 3 you gifted. Crow Server got gifted too. Let me look if Crow's on here. No, he's not. Okay, let me add Crow Server. Because Crow was on my list of members. Crow Server. Thank you, Crow. Danny, I'll search you. Darius, I'll search you. Nope, don't want to search over here. I want to search over here. Darius, there you are. You're on there. Handsome Hustler, you're out. Rico Mart, you've been giving a lot of shit this week. I'll still search you. Who else wanted me to search? Danny and Tagliata. There you are, Danny. You're on here. Can I zoom in on this a little bit more? There we go. No, maybe even a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Don't get Xander started on hockey. Oh, I'll get started on hockey. KCA, let me search your dumbass. KCA's been driving me crazy. There he is. He's on there. Who else? Mike Guru. Mike, there you are, Mike. You see it? Boom. You're on there, brother. Okay. Who else? Cody BK20. There you are, brother. You're on there. Yeah, the Flyers stink. Always have, always will. Until you get a goaltender. Yo, Rico, I don't know if you play hockey. I don't know if you know hockey or just a fan. Until you have a goaltender, you will not win significant games in the NHL. That's how it works. You can't stop the puck. You can't win games. They haven't had a goaltender since who? Robert Esch? Think about it. Think about it. They had Brian Bush. They had Bobrovsky. Then they decided to keep Ilya Bryzgalov over Sergei Bobrovsky. The Flyers suck. All right? They're a bad organization. They really are. They're bad. Who else needs me to search? Rich. Rich, there you are, brother. You're in here. You can't stop the puck, you don't win games. Can't stop the puck, you don't win games. Who wanted me to search? Real Zeal. I know you want me to search Real Zeal. The Real. There. Oh, no, that's RMP. There's the real Zeal. All right, there we go. 353 members. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. Okay. You guys have really changed JAKIB in the last year. I know I've told you before. I will continue to tell you again. Thank you all. I really mean it. Even if for those that I rip on, for those I mess with, for those that we have fun with, I can't thank you guys enough. All right. You got your support of the channel. Goes a very long way. And the giveaways are just a tiny thing that I can do to give back to you. All right. So thank you all so much. I really mean it, and I really appreciate it. Let's do this giveaway because I got to run. You'll be able to pick your size, and I'll find a shirt to give you. All right. In fact, let me pull up the Eagle. Let me pull up the Eagles order and see if I can get like a screenshot of all the shirts I have. All right, here it is. All right, I'll show you guys all the shirts. This is when everything was half off and I ordered all this stuff. Okay? Sue's bailing on me. Sue doesn't have patience. See you, Sue! You must be present to win this one. So you're out of here. All right, here we go. Super Bowl shirt. I'll show you guys once we get a winner. Yeah, the one with the signatures is sick. We'll do 3 shuffles. 1, 2, 3. Now, Abe, this isn't the plug. I didn't use the plug for this. I just got these on the Eagle shop because they were half off. I ordered a bunch of shit. I spent like almost $1,000. Start. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Always Sunny. Are you here? Come on, Always Sunny. I like that name. It's Always Sunny in the great city of Philadelphia. Next. Get him out of here. Where's Flexing? Get him out of here. Hey, appreciate you, bro. Abe, when you moving to Philly, Abe? Come on over, Abe. Is Always Sunny here or is Always Sunny out of here? My boss is yelling at me. That's your problem, Sig Lord. That's your problem. That ain't my problem. Twiz the Jigger, my guy. I love you, Twiz. He says, we appreciate you. Z, you do more than most content creators. I'm a support giveaway or not. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Twiz. And Twiz, here's one thing I can say about that comment. I know you're not lying because, Twiz, you've been here a long time, brother. And I do appreciate everything you've done and all the support you give to the channel. Thank you, brother. You're one of our most valued people here in the community. All right. But thank you, brother. Thank you, Twiz. You're the man, my man. All right. Always Sunny is done, though. All right. Always Sunny. Appreciate you. You're done. You're done. We got to go rapid. I'm late. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Start. Come on. We are back in full swing doing giveaways on JAKIB Sports. 3, 2, 1. Who do we got? Midwest Eagle fan. Am I shipping this to the Midwest? Am I shipping this to the Midwest? Come on, Midwest. Joseph Thanos says, send me your JAKIB address. Wow, what do you got for me, Thanos? I will say, the people have really been awesome. Like I told you, Swagger sent me that. The towel, which is hanging up there on my I guess you can't see it right now, but it's up there. And he sent me the program from the game in New Orleans. Sasha sent me the incredible JAKIB cutting board. Sasha, I showed my girlfriend that cutting board. She's like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing ever. Like, it's been raved about by the beautiful women in my life. Okay. Okay. I'm not a cook. I don't spend much time in the kitchen. All right. I could barely put together a ham sandwich, but the women in my life love the cutting board. So thank you. Are we singing na, 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 na to Midwest? Oh, man. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Also, are any wrestling fans in the chat right now? I got to talk to you about something. Midwest, you're done. You're done. Say it, brother. Here we go. A new winner. Are any wrestling fans here? I got to talk to you. I got to talk to you about something. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Start. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jay Perfect. Are you out there? Jay, are you out there? 1 sec, Dank. I'll give it to you. Jay, are you out there? Yes, real zeal. That's one thing I'll give your Penn State credit for. They are an incredible wrestling school. Incredible wrestling school. Jay Perfect. No, I follow Jay Perfect. Actually, Jay Perfect can play ball, guys. I follow him on Instagram. He be playing like flag football consistently. Very consistently. Where's my guy, Jay Perfect? Is he here or is he done? Come on, Picker. Yeah, Joe, I'm with you today. I got to run. I got shit to do. Philly Don, get him out of here. All right, here we go. All right, my question on wrestling is, how the hell does John McMullen not like Cody Rhodes' theme song? It's easily the best theme song in wrestling right now. Now, maybe I'm a rookie to wrestling. I don't really watch it so much. So, I will say the entertainment value of wrestling is insane. It's insane. I like production too. So he's a curmudgeon. I have to talk to John about that. I meant to ask him today, how the hell do you not like Cody Rhodes' theme song? He's giving away the bricks. No, but Rich, I'm close to ordering them. I'm not doing it though. I can't do it. They're going to come down. They're going to come down. The price of those is going to come down. All right, here we go. Ready? Ready? 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Start. Come on. I got to go. If we don't have a winner by 11, guess what? We're done. 2, 1. Fat Mac Philly. Fat Mac, are you out there? I do have 3X and 4X, I think. So if you're out there and you need one, Fat Mac. All right. Is Fat Mac here? Come on, Fat Mac. I like this guy's name, Fat Mac Philly. It's just straightforward. It's a Philly name. Fat Mac Philly. Last name probably has something sort of Mac in there. And he calls himself Fat Mac. And he probably is from Philly. And he loves Philly. So he's Fat Mac Philly. I mean, it's just sick. All right. Fat Mac is done, though. Let's go. I'm late for work. Yo, Gubby. Buckle up and lock in, bro. Because I ain't going on Gubby's time. Gubby, last I checked, this wasn't called Gubby time. Anybody know who Gubby time is? Come on, man. Come on. Fat Mac, you're done. Let's go. I got a rapid fire. We got to get to Mikey Bibbs. Submit them on Monday, brother. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffle. 3 shuffle. Start. Oh, Gubby, that's messed up. Come on, I'm a hater of that stuff. 3, 2, 1. SmackDown Inc. Double. Come on, brother. I don't think this guy's in the chat. I love him, though. He's the guy that we talked about his Corvette. Remember, Tony, you remember this guy when we were showing the Corvettes on the show? And this guy had the red one, I think it was. He had the red one. I think it was red. Whoa, I'm getting some text here. Whoa. Whoa. Z, pick the top 20 commenters. Yo, Rich, you worry about Rich, all right? I'm just kidding, bro. It's not a bad idea. I would like to do some stuff for our commenters. Gubby. Gubby, don't play with me. Start. Confirm. One shuffle. How about that? That's it. One. Look who's at the top. KCA, look who's at the top. 4 Reels, the legend. Josh Herman, the legend. Start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chip. Come on, Chip. Where's Chip? I think Chip is here, isn't he? Come on, where's Chip? Yeah, Chip is right here. Whoa! Chip, you're in here. Yeah, Chip. All right, ready? We got to go, Chip, so let's keep this quick. Chip, get your comments ready. Get your fingers ready, all right? Get your fingers ready. Chip Snyder is our winner. Present. Here we go. All right. Look, this is what we have. Okay. All right. I got one of these. See, I bought this for me. It was $20. It was half off. I'm like, I'm getting that for me, but I'm going to give it away. All right. We got 2 of these, medium. What size are you, Chip? First off, what size is Chip? Where's Chip? Anything 3X. All right, let me see what I have. 3X. There's 2X, 1X, 2X, XL, large, medium, 2X, 3X. Looks like all I have is the gray. See, they were sold out, I think, of 4Xs. Don't worry, I'll get more shit. 2X. Medium. All these grays. Wait, the gray is funny because it's like, it reminds me of the grays in the chat. The haters. The suckers and the losers, as I call them. Like Dick Track. Who's a hater, but he spends all day watching me. 3X. Boom! All right, here we go. Look, these are all the shirts I got, though. I got a bunch of the gray ones. So this is sick, actually, because it has, actually, Chip, I'm going to leave yours packaged up, and I'm going to open up this large. So sorry for someone who went, oh, man, these are like not even, they're like heat shut. Oh, come on. Fucking things drive me crazy. The grays. I'm giving away a gray to a non-gray. I feel like I should give away the grays to the grays. No, they don't deserve it. KCA, should have used my discount. Yo, KCA, maybe if you sent it to me and stop being all talk, I would. And opportunistic. All right, so we have Chad Whitaker, our legend winner today. He's going to get a hat. Yo, this Eagles hat is sick, bro. I don't know. I kind of have been sleeping, I'm not going to lie, on just the classic green Eagles hat. Classic green, midnight green. It's got the beautiful Eagle logo, which is a sick logo. I absolutely love the Eagles logo. I love both logo, the new school and the old school. Super Bowl champs. Got the tags in there. This is nice. All right, so Chip is going to be able to pick. And not Chip. What's his name? Chad. Chip, how can I contact you? Wait, but you see the back of this shirt? Look at the back. It's got all 4 playoff games and the scores. I don't know if you can see that. Look. Look at that. Look. See the scores on the back? That's fire. That's fire. Fire. Chip. Where's Chip, bro? I need Chip. I need my boy Chip. You guys are flooding the comments, so I can't see them. Great job today, Bob. Bob, love you, Bob. One of the great legends. Chip says, real men wear 3X. Chip, I like it. Yo, Chip, don't ever let somebody bash you. If they want to fight, fight back. You know, one of the funniest things that happens on JAKIB all the time. It happens with people all the time. And I have the same response every time, and I don't care what they call me. You know, people will comment. They're like, do this, Zander, or you suck at this, or this, or they'll take a shot. And then I'm like, all right, cool. You want to take a shot? So I fire a shot back because I don't let fucking people take shots without taking shots back. So I take a shot back. And then they're like, you're so soft. You can't handle taking a shot. I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? What did you want me to do? Sit here, take your shot, give you nothing back, and take it like a little bitch. That's what they want. That's what people want. So whenever you give something back, they'll call you names. You're soft. You're this. No, I'm just giving it back to you. In fact, you're soft because you can't handle it. I tell people that all the time. Zander at JAKIBmedia.com. Boom. Email me up. JAKIB membership required. That's not true, dude. We got some small people too. No, I'm not turning the other cheek. Unfortunately, I'm not as good of a Christian as Jesus. All right. I try my best to be a good Catholic, a good Christian man, but sometimes I come up short. Okay. I come up short a lot. Yeah, JD3, I'm with you, man. Jack Straw, this is like legitimately the funniest comment I've ever read in my life. Jack Straw, you are severely sleeping on me. You are severely. When I was at my peak, Jack, you weren't getting anything by me. Stop. All right, I love all you guys. Great day, great giveaways. Chip, I'm not seeing your comments other than you asked for my email. I put the email in the chat. I didn't eat beef. It's no meat today. It's no meat today for Catholics. Come on, Catholics. Don't break. Don't break on me. All right? Philly Don, if there's breaking news in Eagle Land, it doesn't matter if I'm on the side of Mount Everest. Okay? I'm making it happen. I don't know if Sills is following the Lenten sacrifice of meat on Fridays. All right, thanks all. I love all you guys. Another great show, a great week of shows. Shout out to Johnny Mac. Shout out to Les Bowen, not Les Bowen. Thank you for the guy that corrected me on that. Shout out to Jack Straw, Philly Don, Devin Shanahan, Rico Mart, M. Reyes. Love you, M. Reyes. Prince Swayze, my guy Prince. Yo, Prince, I was ripping on you earlier. You said, hey, I don't want a Z note. You love your Z note, Prince. Appreciate you being here. Bob Brown. Yo, Bob. You know the jersey that was returned to me for our Canadian? I think it was that jersey. Wasn't it Eagle Nest? Wasn't the Eagle Nest jersey? Wasn't the jersey I sent you, Cooper DeJean, in the black and Kelly? Wasn't it that one? Yeah, I think it's an XL. It might be in an XL. Yo, Bob, I'll hook you up with that if that is the case. All right. All right. Thank you all. I got to run. I got to go. I got to jump in the truck. I got to drive some places here. And then we're going to lock in. We got a nice day, nice afternoon show coming up with the National Football Show with Big Sills. And we'll do that on the fly. So thanks all you guys for checking in. See you next time, everybody. Love you all.
You've been listening to Birds 365. the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate, inside the locker room, and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.